Hi everyone. Welcome back to Themis and Thought. Grab your coffee, water, tea, whatever you're drinking, go and get that. I'm I'm currently working on a video for you all for Friday because I will not be here on Friday. But I have like 5 hours worth of clips that I was editing and I got it down. I think I can get it down to like 2 hours. Let me drop a one if you can hear me. Let's do that first. And you guys will probably hate this video. I keep saying this and I shouldn't because I need to promote it better, but you guys will probably hate this video. It's about Emma Greed. It's been a long time coming. You know how I said I'm not going to try to rush and worry about getting videos out on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. Like this has been very fun. It's been a lot of work. I in editing, I realized that I've changed clothing. I, I recorded it over a couple days and I'm now editing it. And the whole process has been like really, really fun, like absolutely fun to do. So I like this kind of video editing where there's no time pressure and I can take my time. So that's coming out on Friday. Right after this, I'm going to edit the last hour. After this, I have 1 more hour to edit, and then we're good to go. then we're good to go. So strap in, grab your coffee, water, tea, whatever you're drinking, go and get that. And for the people who are part of the book club, I think you will. If no one else like this, the people part of the book club will love this because the reason I haven't been doing the book club is because I've been working on two videos. One like the one coming that took 5 hours to record and took all of this week to edit and last week. So hopefully you all love it because next week we're gonna jump right into like the book club for real, for real. So all right. Grab your coffee, water, tea, whatever you're drinking, go and get that. Let's get into this video quickly. Because I do actually have to come back and go edit. I hope that worked. Also, do I have to click notification on each video I'm subscribed, but I feel like I'm always missing lives. I don't know. YouTube has been limiting a lot of creators' reach. I've seen a lot of people complaining about it on. I'm not going to complain because I feel very fortunate that you guys show up and you guys show up often. But yeah, I think you might have to watch a couple more videos for YouTube to see that you're interested in the channel, and then they will start sending you a notification from the channel. Because if you haven't been tapped in, the algorithm just thinks you don't care. Aim, thank you for being a member for 8 months. I appreciate that. T. Patrick, you've been a member for 54 months. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tabitha says, I love Stefco. I like Stefco too. I like Stefco. I don't dislike Stefco. Wait, what are your thoughts on Awesome returning back to debate today? I didn't see him returning. I thought his microphone was not working and that was the end of it. Okay, but let's get into this quickly. So a year or so ago, Stefka made a video about this man she met in I'm laughing because it's funny. But Stefka made a video about traveling to New York, and there was this guy she met in New York. And I watched the video and I was like, oh, that sucks. I feel bad for her. Like, no one should have to go through any of that. And the story, this is the initial story, right? But I'm not going to play all of the story. I'm not going to play all of the story. I'm going to just move to a part of the story that I found. This, by the way, is when I stopped. You know how y'all say you love Steph Go? This is where, right here, I think, about right here, is where I realized Steph Go, like, obviously she doesn't care, right? About my opinion. Good. But this is where I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna check out. Let me play because I'm very in tune to what I believe is what I'm just gonna play this, and this is where I'm like, yeah, maybe this is not for me because I used to feel bad, and now I'm like, so here it is, right here.
And I think the reason why it came to an end, there's a lot that can be learned from that, especially for people in my position who are middle-aged individuals in the last years of their fertility who don't meet that many people, and also anyone who in general is used to not meeting people who really matter to them, as far romantically speaking. Like, there's some people out there who go from serious relationship to marriage to their life is filled with these full and powerful good connections. But I know for me, a huge part of my dating life has always been I'm gonna settle for whoever's interested. Because if I try and be intentional and go after who I want, they'd never want me back. And so I'm gonna just, oh, this is the guy here. Okay, he's interested. All right. Um, and I'm usually not attracted to him.
Does that make sense to y'all? The, honest to God, I don't. That does not make sense to me. And so here's the. I implore anyone who that makes sense to come up and explain that to me. Because I don't. One of the things that I do want, I do want to understand is everyone has self-esteem issue, I believe. I think we all have like insecurity, maybe not self-esteem issue might be too big, but like insecurities, right? And the idea that we need to fix it and address it is something that I'm concerned with. And I've always wished I had the magic pill to like fix someone's low self-esteem or negative self-talk or something like that, right? Because like when you there's a part of me that wish people could just walk out into the world and be proud and happy about who they are. But this mentality here does not make sense to me, right? So that's the first thing. But then there is a second part of this video that I'm like, oh, this is weird. Let me show you. This is not the video we are watching, by the way. I just need it for some context. Listen to this.
That is a big thing to want. Like, if I couldn't find anybody when my body was good, when I was fine, what makes me think now that I'm a, what is the word? Liability, that someone is going to come in and love me like that. Like, that's huge. And so I didn't think I would ever meet anybody like that. And I never did, but I still had that inside of me. Also, I let her out sometimes, but most of the time I have to shove her down. I'm very much so a caretaker. I love to cook for people. I love to or cook for the
All right. Now listen to this. She's a caretaker. She loves to cook for people. She's lying, straight up lying, and she gonna tell you she lying. She only care about the cooking for men. That's it. She's going to tell you verbatim how much she only cooked for men, and she's gonna tell you why she only cooked for men. Listen to not only, but she only likes cooking for men. Listen to this.
man that's in my life or people I look. I'm very weird about cooking for other women because we tend to be very, very critical. I'll never forget the time that I made guacamole and people acted like I made spit. The guacamole was fine.
So you don't like cooking for women because you make guac. How is guac cooking? Which part of guacamole is cooking? Just say you don't want to cook. You're not no lover girl. You want to be servicing a man like that. Let's call a spade, girl. You can't say I like cooking for people, and then the example of cooking for a woman is you made them guac and they didn't like your guac, and I'm like, Okay, wait, but like, if they didn't like your guac, you didn't cook anything for them. Like, guac is not cooking. So just come out and say, "Oh, you like cooking for men, right? And not women." Also, you said when it comes to men, you take whatever you can get. So if you're at the bottom of the barrel picking up men from off the street, of course they're gonna love your food. It's not like they have options in terms of food. Like no, no, it's not nothing about church. It is nothing about church, and y'all need to stop defending this foolishness. Like say, oh, I feel bad for her. I see myself in her. She might have low self esteem, and I identify with that low self esteem. That is completely fine. Like I'm not saying, oh, she should have higher self esteem. Well, people should, but like that's not what I'm saying. I am saying that don't come on here and lie. You want to cook for men and you want to take care of men. Don't sit up here and say, oh, the reason I don't cook for women is that they're not appreciative. Well, if you took a bum from the street and you give them food, then they probably go enjoy it more than people who have different standards of eat. Listen to what she said about the man. Mind you, she already just explained to us that when it comes to men, she take whatever she can get. And then she's trying to find some excuse. Let me go back. Listen closely. When she's explaining who she likes to take care of, she says men, and then she tries to correct herself and say the reason she does not cook for women is because women are ungrateful.
Let her out sometimes, but most of the time I have to shove her down. I'm very much so a caretaker. I love to cook for people. I love to or cook for the man that's in my life or people.
See, for the man that's in my life. And then she's attempting to correct. No, you said it right. You love to cook, you love to take care of the men in your life. You ain't even got to explain further.
Look, I'm very worried about cooking for other women because we tend to be very, very critical. I'll never forget the time that I made guacamole and people acted like I made spit. The guacamole was fine. It was fine. And whenever I fed a man, he acts like he's never eaten before. Like there are sparks flying off that plate. I felt so good this one time. I made this guy chicken and waffles. Leave me alone. That's what I made him. And I was like, I guess the chicken's all right. You know, it was my chicken. I was used to eating it. I looked over at him and homeboy was cracking that bone, licking the gristle. So he was like, is there more? Do you have some more? Like every time, whether it's pasta, whether it's
So some women told her guac wasn't good, but a man who obviously hadn't eaten in forever, you gave him food and he ate the food you gave him because he doesn't. You said you can take what you can get. So like, I'm assuming the worst of the worst, and so he was hungry, obviously, hadn't eaten because he hadn't found you yet. And you gave him food and he loved the food because he has food to eat. Like, it's not like the food is good. You even said the food might not be that great. And he, like, I just, ugh. So this is annoying. Anyway, this mentality just drives me absolutely insane. So I went to the end and I actually was like, you know what? I respect you. I actually, because she's telling a story about how a man dogged her out. Essentially, she went to New York, met a man, they did the do. She felt connected to this man. The man treated her poorly, cursed her out on the phone. She said she cursed him out too. And they were so intense with each other that they would go days and for not talking with no communication, and then they would block each other and then email each other and all kind of foolishness. Essentially, the man trying to figure out if she's still, I can't say that. That's not okay. The man was playing in her face. Let's be very clear. Because she's like, oh, we were in this together. No, you weren't in anything together. You would have preferred for him to be a good guy who was into you. And you were struggling to keep him in your life. And he was struggling to get you back to New York to do whatever he wanted. That's it. Like that's essentially the story, right? And I was like, you know what? At the end of this, she says the following, and I was like, you know what? I actually appreciate this. This is very reflective. Everyone makes mistakes. She was younger. She was like Well, actually, she was 39. In this story, she was 39. But she reflected, we can make all kinds of mistake, whatever age. And so I was like, you know what? Period. You went, you had a good time. He got you caught up for a couple months. But now this is what she said to end it. And I was like, you know what? I respect this.
Mm. And to come up there, especially to come up there and spend my own money. And most importantly, like I said, he's a cute kid. There's no reason and no guarantee that somebody down the street can't do for you what you're claiming is so special about me. The only thing that made me want to hold on to him was the idea that there was love there and that there was a reason why he was in my life at this time of my life. And it was supposed to be in some way important. So when I read the email of him saying, I could never love you, look how you act. Number one, I was like, I know some ridiculous, ridiculous people, and they are loved down. I know people that have met someone when they are in the middle of a mental health crisis so bad. I don't want to give details, but that's when they meet their person. I know people that have met someone when they're dealing with body positivity issues, when they're dealing with just general good old depression, when they're at their lowest financially. And that's when they meet their person. So this concept of, oh, you acted a certain way, so you're not worth love is ridiculous. And also, I just want to go back to, there were so many times where I told this man, hey, I can see that you're doing this. So for example, asking me for pictures and images without doing anything for me first. There's a reason why OnlyFans is so popular. There's a reason why we call a certain thing the oldest profession in the world. When men want sexual paraphernalia, sexual activity from women, the expectation is that you pay. And I don't even want to run that kind of connection with you. But if that's what you're coming to me for, you think I'm just supposed to give this stuff to you for free? And that is what he thought. And so I read that and I said, this person thinks that you having standards is in some way detrimental. You have written him so many things. You've explained to him so many times why you feel the way you feel. And instead of it being something that makes him say, wow, she's a woman that stands on business, he looks at it and says, ugh, look how you act.
Mind you, she's expecting this man to think she stands on business because she's saying, can you pay for this? Can you do this? Meanwhile, she's continuing to talk to him and negotiating with him about her spending her own money to come visit him. But he won't be able to house her because he's sleeping, or he is living with his baby's mother. So he has a woman, essentially. She knows he has a woman, but she pretending she don't know this, that man cheating on that woman with her. Anywho, she's just pretending. But again, we are there is some clarity happening here, right? She's ending this video that we're watching. She's ending it by saying, I had to let him go for my own sake. I built my self esteem and I know not to go there. Seamus, this is who Lauren Hill was at the beginning of the Waffle Bash.
It almost threw me back into that whole thing of being so hard to understand and always being the odd one out. I'm never enough for somebody to just do the work. And why is it so hard? Why do I have to meet the person that makes this so damn hard? And I have two answers for that. The first answer is that when I met him, I was really floating in space. And while I do think that it would have been incredible to have someone to meet me where I was at, so you know what? If I'm afraid to make friends right now, if I'm afraid to show someone my body, meet someone who's like, you are incredible, and I'm willing to do whatever I can to be with you, I'd probably be married. This probably wouldn't just be a ring that my mama gave me years ago that I found while I'm currently packing up my apartment, but I probably would actually have married the dude if that was his vibe. But instead, I feel like it was, he saw where I was and thought I was going to be easy to manipulate. Secondly, I feel like I needed to believe that it was finally my turn to experience something important. In astrology, that's right. There's this concept of a profection year. So every year of our lives highlights a certain level of our lives. And so you might have one year that specifically, it's a lot, but every year highlights something. And it's different than numerology. It's different. I know a lot about theologies. Anyway, when I turned 38, it was my third house profection year, which means it was all about how I communicated and expressed myself. Absolutely. That was my 38th year. 39 was 4. So it's about grounding yourself. It's about motherhood. You know, I found out that year that I couldn't have a baby. It's
So y'all living your life based on astrology. You know what? You know what? I'm a Christian, so people will drag me for being a Christian. Go off, girl. Year of perfection, year of apology, year of whatever. Period. Go on. I'm just here for the fool, girl.
about home. I moved and reestablished my home vibe. 40 is about fun, sex, romance. It's a fifth house year. And I have a friend who met the love of her life when she turned 40. She became a mom at 42. And so I, at a certain point of tussling back and forth with this person, started waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. I was just like, oh, it was the fifth house year. Oh, I'm 40 and this is still happening. Like, it was bothering me down to my roots that this was the person that was taking up space in this year of my life. And what made it even worse was that was how I felt. I was not honoring my feelings if I didn't see this all the way till the end. And I tried to jump on dating apps. I wouldn't get no responses. Typical. I tried to, just not do anything at all and just see what happens. And I met someone, and he was, you know, um, very interesting. And when I say very interesting, I mean like he wanted to live in his underground bunker that he was building on his land, and he didn't believe in like shaving or combing his hair. He had a lot going on. I really do mean he was.
He don't shower, he don't comb his hair. It's insane. Of course they gonna love your cooking, girl. Ugh.
Interesting. They know how to find me. And so, even just saying, okay, I'm just gonna vibe out and see what happens. Nothing happened. I didn't mean it. You know what I mean? This is a person that came into my life, and unfortunately, we had this powerful connection, and this is how it was handled. And I would tell him all the time, I'm sure you're a fine individual, but the way you facilitated this connection with me irritates me to my core. So to go back to his statement of, I would never love you, look how you act. Mind you, he'd already told me he loved me once, but I guess that was just to try and win me over. So now you're being real. To tell me that, look how you act, and to never say, look how I've treated you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasted your time. I'm sorry I wanted you to be a reverse prostitute and pay all your money to come have sex with me. I'm sorry. Like, never saw it that way. And then had the nerve to follow that up with, I sure would like to. Just completely explicit. It was so unfair. And all I could do was, I felt like I had been, like I said, it was a cutting of the cord and a giving up of the ghost. Like, when I saw that, I said, Steph, you got to get off. You got to get off. No man that you would ever spend time with favorably would be somebody that would write something like that to you. And I've written things to him as well, but that was my kryptonite.
Demons, please, this is so fair. Wait, we are not even at the video I want us to watch. We're not at the video. We're not at the video I want us to watch.
I would never love you. And then to follow it up with something so obscenely sexual. It just let me know that the future that I could see that was possible with this connection would never happen because of how this person perceived the situation. And so all of it really had just been a waste of time, and nothing would ever come of this. And so I wrote him a final email, and I said, hey, I'm not coming to see you. I'm never coming to see you. You will never see me again. Thank you for being so honest in this email right here. It makes me sad because these are all the things I wanted to do with you. And it was my turn to be explicit. And at the same time, I was romantic. I was like, I wanted to do all of this. And then I wanted to hold your hand. I wanted to walk down the street. I wanted to stop, and I wanted to.
See, I forgot this part. So instead of just telling the boy bye, tell the boy bye. Instead of just telling the boy bye, which she did, like, period, girl, eat down. I love that for you. Why would you then say, like, it's almost like you're enticing him? Like, he said, I could never love you. This is the email the guy sent to him. I could never love you, right? And then after he sent that email, he then sent a very explicit email to her about what he wants to do. And she's confused. I'm not quite sure what is confusing. He does not love you. This is what he wants to do. And then you go, you will never see me. But if you did, these are the things I would have wanted to do to you. If you think you're trying to like get him back, I don't know. But I love this for her. She says, I'm standing on business, and this is where this ends. Let's see. To switch this to switching the subject. No, we're not switching. We're not switching the subject because I actually enjoyed this. At the end of this, she found herself, looked in the mirror and say, I'm that girl. And I love that for her. Like, a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. A lot of us do a lot of foolish things. And so it was nice to see her learning. Is she the jealous friend? Themis did a previous video on that men play about you. She's the one who said men play about her. She said it, not me.
Make out, and I wanted to make sure we didn't spend more than 2 weeks apart, and I wanted to really try and.
Mind you, this man just told her, I don't love you, I just want to do this. And she goes, well, we are never meeting up again, but I wanted to do all the explicit things, but I also wanted to hold your hands and make sure we never spend days apart and love you and give. Girl, what part of his message? I don't understand what part of his message was confusing, or what part of his message saying that I would never love you would invite you telling him all the good things you want to do, holding hands and I don't understand.
Commit to this thing. But this is how you see me, and this is after a year of talking to me. After a year, and you don't see your part in it at all. And you're in your mind, you're like, I have to punish her and make her pay her money when I don't even know who you spend your time with. To be real with you, I don't even believe that you're single. And I hate that I feel so attached to you, but now I don't. Thank you for being honest. I wish you the best. I really did think the world of you. And I hate that this is how it went.
So when he break up with you, I mean, you all weren't together. That's when you say you don't even think he was single. So nothing else changed outside of him saying, I could never love you, but this is what I want to do with you. And that's when you're like, oh, I don't even think you're single. So you been knew he was not single. You been knew he was not single. You just were playing games. Again, it is not her job to keep another man's fidelity. So, period. But stop pretending like you didn't know that man was with another woman, girl. Please. Girl, please.
But I'm done now. And he called me the next day a couple times and I did not answer. And then he didn't call again. No emails. And for once, it doesn't feel like there's something tugging at my chest. For once, it doesn't feel like, oh, we haven't talked. Oh, like when I tell y'all, it used to be, it was bad. It was bad. But hearing him say from his own mouth, this is not a love thing for me, you're making it up, using that word that so many people who dislike me on the internet have used to insult and degrade me. And that was another thing. I was like, anybody I'm involved with intimately needs to be my biggest fucking fan. They need to think I fart golden eggs. I am not going to be attacked online. I am not going to have conflict in my personal life with other things. And then the man who's supposed to be the most intimate with me, my body, my emotions, say horrible things to me as well. And not even realize that the Stephanie that he's getting is a result of how he's treating me. I'm good. I'm out. Cord cut. Soul tie broken. I wanted to share the story because I never talk about my love life anymore because nothing happens. But for a year, something was kind of happening.
All right. So you heard that. So color me surprised when there's a part 2. Color me shocked. I haven't seen the part 2. Someone said this is a part 2 to this video that we discussed in the Discord. And I actually, the funny thing, I was in the Discord defending Steph Girl. I was like, we all make mistakes. She grew. Girl, why is there a part 2? I thought it was done. I thought you said he told me he could never love me. So why is there yeah, let's get into this part 2, because I just needed to show you where we left the story off, where I left the story off, and I was fully on Steph Go's side. We all make mistakes, we all get caught up. But then we learn and we grow. And one of the easiest way to learn and grow is if someone tell you, I could never love you. If someone tells you, I could never love you, it's a chop. It does not matter how much you're in love, how delusional you are, what lemons you're in, none of that matter. When someone straight up tell you, I could never love you, and you want more than love, it's a chop. You're going to suck them feelings up and go. And I thought that was her. And that's why I defended her. I defended her specifically because regardless of what she went through, she got herself together. Well, there's a part 2. So let's get into let's I'm shook. I am annoyed because why you gonna make my Discord drag me for filth for being dumb? But wasn't she also with a married or in a relationship man in the last video you did on her? Seems like a pattern or being intentionally obtuse. Yeah. Also, her friend was with a man who had a woman. He said so the man he was with was cheating on the girlfriend with her, and he got in a car accident and almost died, and so that made him realize he wanted to be with his girlfriend and not with her. Jesus! All right, let's get into part 2. Not a sequel it is. Let's get into it.
I dropped a video on this channel that every single day gets at least 100 to 200 views. And it was a story time about a long distance stress situationship that I had been involved in since fall of 2023. I think I dropped it October of 2024. So at that moment in time, it had gone on for an entire year. And the video is called something like Canceled Flights.
Shout out to Jesse Wu soundbite. Yeah, no, I got it from Jesse. Yeah, it is fully Jesse Wu. Yep. Not y'all holding me accountable. They cite your work. Cite your work. Steph gonna look good here too. Period. She look good. Let's get it.
lusty emails, something like that, the true story of my love life and whatever. And I made the decision to post the video, even though for me, posting romantic story times on my channel has never really gone well. But I made the decision to post the video because it was my story and it was what had happened. And also, I felt like it would hold me accountable. Like, there's no way I could post a video like that, airing out that situation, and still deal with that man. Well, that was fall of 2024. And unfortunately, by fall of 2025, we were still dealing with each other. Now,
so she learned nothing. All of your Stefco fans, all of y'all in here defending Stefco, myself in there, it's a chop. It is a chop. I don't care not what you got to say. I'm going to drag you in the comments. If you comment under my video, no, I'm not going to block you. Ain't nobody have time to block nobody. You can't be mad. I will be dragging you in them chats. If you come to my channel commenting in defense, you're getting dragged. She knows she was in some foolishness. She's telling you she was in some foolishness. I don't want to hear it. This was some foolishness. Talking about she was still in. Mind you, she's only met this man one time, when she was traveling in New York. One time.
Now, we were never dealing with each other in the traditional sense of, he's my man, but we were dealing with each other in the sense of we did not go for longer than 30 days without speaking. And sometimes we didn't go for longer than 2 weeks.
We didn't go for longer than 30 days without speaking. Go hang it up. Can you imagine if someone is interested in you, it's not going to be, what do you mean we didn't? Why are you saying it as if that's like accomplishment or something that like, is that meaningful? So can I put you all on a 30-day hold? Can I put you on a 30-day hold and like reply every 30 days? Because like, does that seem like I'm interested? If I'm going 10 days, weeks at a time without talking to you, does that seem very interesting? Guy, if you're gonna wait 30 days to talk to me, it's a chap. Just go ahead and block me. Just go ahead and block me. Go ahead and block me. I was scared over the years, and she has not changed her perspective or become more self-aware. Meeting a random New York is no. Okay, yes, meeting a random person in New York is dangerous. However, if you're on a trip and you're zipping it and zooing it, and you're safe, girl, zip it and zoo it. I'm pro her going and zipping it and zooing it. What I am not pro is her catching feelings. However, she caught the feelings, untangled the feelings, and she left the man in the dust. I'm still supporting that. Like, you're allowed to fail. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to then have a man tell you, I will never love you. Send you an email explicit about what he wants to do, but he could never love you and he doesn't like you and cussing you out. And why are you back? Like, that doesn't make sense. And then you're like, I don't understand why he's not seeing me as someone who stand on business, because you ain't standing no business, girl. Right? Yes, there's zero business being stand on, being stood on. Like, I just can't. I cannot.
Now, whenever we would open up communication, it would always quickly deflate because of a couple things. Money. And I talked about this in the very first video. He is probably the most red-pilled individual when it comes to women and money that I've ever met in my life. I never expected to meet a man who had the financial politics that he did have.
Yeah, well, men aren't like that generally. He's just not that into you. He's just not that into you, girl. The man told you he could never love you. I don't understand. I just don't understand why he has such a problem with money. He does not want to spend it on you because he does. You know this too, though. Like, you know this. You emailed him back to tell him that he could never get with you because you were grown and you were that girl and you were a goddess and you need to be treated as such. She never said none of that. But like, girl, my chat going to. Well, they can't drag me. I'm correcting myself. I was wrong for defending Stefco there.
And in that video, I talked about how
she was 40 at the time. She's now 41 or 42. So while she's not old, obviously she's old enough to know better. She's old enough. Like I get traveling and zipping it. I get traveling and zooing it. I get even getting your feelings caught up for like a month. I get imagining a future with some random stranger you do not know. I get all of that. I get limerence. I do not get someone telling you verbatim they could never love you and you continue to pursue anything with them. That level of self-esteem is beneath anything that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wanted me, we met when I went out of town. I went out of town to New York. We met there, and he wanted me to come back and see him again. And he laughed in my face when I said, okay, well, can you provide a plane ticket? My whole thing was, that is the standard of care. That is what people are supposed to do. That's what men are supposed to do. And at the time, he worked in the hospitality industry. So not only do I want a plane ticket, but can you get me a discounted place to stay? If you want me to come back, and according to him, he didn't want no relationship. He didn't want to date. He didn't want to do any of that. He just wanted it to be physical. Okay, well, what are you going to do for me? And his answer was nothing. In fact, he was violently disgusted about the fact that I asked him, what are you going to do for me? Coming up to New York is not a cheap trip. You're staying in a hotel.
Watch her go to New York. Watch her go to New York. Watch her actually go to New York. This story is going to end very poorly for her because she would not be making this video if it didn't end poorly. Let me see the name of the video. A bird says goodbye. Yeah, to Mr. New York. Yeah. Yeah. It's not going to end well. ain't no way she thought this going to end well for her. She going to use her own money to go to New York. Watch. Actually, I'm interested in her excuse. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure, she going to have to justify it in her head. If I know something about Stefko and I don't know anything about Stefko, she going to justify this going up there. Her mother is going to give her money to go to New York to buy something specific in New York, and that's how she going to end up there. But she going to end up there. She going to come up with a reason to end up there, end up in New York.
Want to eat out, you want to go to shows, like it's expensive. You want to go to museums, it's expensive. And you want me to come out there and you want me to come for free. Okay. Where do they do that at? That is not the standard of care. That is not what's done. Why are you asking me this? And so from the beginning, my whole thing with him was, if you're going to come back and you're going to ask me, then you need to be coming back with a plane ticket and with a plan. And we fought about that for 2 years, all of 2024.
You fought with a man about buying you a ticket to come see him for 2 years. Go hang it out. A man who told you sat up there and fought with a man who told you that he could never love you for 2 years. A man verbatim told you, I could never love you. And you fought with him for 2 years about him getting a ticket for you. And you don't understand why he does not see you as someone who stands on business. Ashley, welcome to the membership. Thank you. This is going to be a members only live, by the way. Ain't no way I'm going to keep this out because as soon as I might leave it up for a night, and that's it. Because ain't no reason for this woman to be us here. The fact that Steph thinks she's ugly is insane. The fact that she actually thinks she is ugly is insane to me.
Of 2025. Now, there was a moment in 2024 where he offered to give me $100 for my travels, and I think I declined it at that time because my contribution to the trip was going to be something like $2,100. So,
yeah, I'm sorry. Why do you say you declined it at the time? He offered you that you go spend $2,000. You go spend $2,000 and he offer you $100, and you say you declined it at the time. If I understand anything about language, it means she feels bad about declining the $100. She feels like she should not have declined the. What do you mean at the time? At any time you should decline. You should continue to decline it.
You're just going to give me $100 to $2,100? That's not fair. And also, for a woman like myself who was used to men never doing anything for her, I look around my home where I live. I don't have a single gift from a man who's not my father. I look at letters that have been written to me over the years from people that love me and appreciate me and cherish me. They're from students. They're from my friends.
Girl, give me a P.O. box. Steph, send me a P.O. box. Delroy and I, Delroy and I will send you some things. I will send you one thing each month for a year, for the rest of this year. Send me a P.O. box. If you want a man to send you gifts, I will send you a gift every single month for the rest of this year. I will. I will. I will write you a poem. I will. I will. I will. I will. No. I will, because ain't nobody got time. And we're supposed to be the one playing with these instruments. What's going on? 2 years for what? No money, nothing. Like I just don't understand. I don't know. Not even a spirit ticket could she get. Not lucky. Girl.
They're not from any of the men that I ever dealt with. I'm 42 years old. I've never been taken on a vacation. I've never been taken out for my birthday. I've never had a Valentine's Day. So wouldn't it just be cherry on top of the cherry on top of the sundae if now I have this man who wants to see me, but I have to pay for it? Of course that would happen to me. So not only was I not wanting to do it just because it's not the standard of care, it's not how things are done, but I didn't want to add another trash chapter to my already trash story as a human being. Like I didn't want to do that. So we fought and we fought and we fought. And I said things to this man that I wouldn't say to Hitler. I have called him all manners of names, and vice versa. And one thing about us was we would always come back together. This was a bad thing for 2 reasons. The first reason was that it was hard to move on if we're always going to come back together. Like I knew when he would say, okay, I'm done with you. And I say, I'm done with you. We're not done. The second reason.
No. It's like he kept coming on to see if you were still dumb. Every time, if a man leaves and come back, they're just checking to see if you're still like. She thought she was in this like romantic, like we just cannot separate from each other. It's just something connecting us. No, it's desperation on one end and him thinking he could use you on the other. A man who cares about you in any meaningful way is never going to tell you he could never love you. That is not a thing. That is not a thing. And I will always come back to that email he sent you that I thought was the straw that broke the camel's back, that he could never love you. That man can, by the way, let me just be very clear. I think it is absolutely impossible for someone to respect you if they tell you, I could never love you, and you continue to pursue them. I do not believe that is possible for anyone to respect you after that. I didn't say they can't be with you. I said they can't respect you after that. That's insane.
Reason it was terrible was that I really liked him. No. I really liked. Nay, I loved him. I love that stingy fool.
You love a man you met once. You love the man you met once who told you they could never love you. Okay. I do think that I need to handle this with some more care. I do. This is actually insane. I don't know how to do what I'm proposing, but I think there needs to be more. This is why I usually don't react to women on here. I just react to men. I just go ahead and react to men because what y'all doing? Even my broke ex drove 16 hours to see. Right. Like, I just don't understand. My broke ex is wild. My rerun girl, my broke ex is insane work. You play entirely too much. If he doesn't put a tracker on your car, it ain't love, girl. I'm stressed out and I don't know how to move forward. Like, I have my comfort reindeer with me right now.
The best way I can describe it is, after so many years and meeting so many different kinds of people, I know there's a personality profile when it comes to men that I really, really, really become attached to. And there's a certain reality that comes with this personality profile as well. And I've run into this type of man a couple times in my life. And so the reality that they usually have is that they're coming out of something serious or they're still attached to it.
Oh, no, now, Demas, a lot of girls actually go through this. This is late bloomer. I actually expect you to be going through something similar 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's it. That's it. And it shouldn't be like this. No one should tell you, no matter how young you are, I could never love you, and you still pursue. That's insane, no matter the age. So, yeah, I can see some of this happening to a lot of people. The I can never love you is insane.
Maybe, not physically attached, like they're not around the person, but emotionally they're still attached. They, for whatever reason, are down on their luck financially, always. They are wanting to be around me, but they're not huge fans of me. Like, they don't like me, but they won't leave me alone. And we normally do not leave our interaction as friends. But whenever this particular type of person comes around, there is an immediate attachment. And I'm locked in. All right. I was trying not to do this video with any pauses or any of these wonderful little freeze frames, but I want to take a moment and put some respect on my name. I know that this video is going to be ripe for those of you who like to criticize and analyze and diagnose. You've probably already
Wait, not her calling me out in the video I'm reviewing. Period. You've ghost stuff. I'm here for this.
begun to get wet and aroused at the idea of how deeply you can dig into this and everything that's wrong with me. And go ahead. That is part of putting your personal experiences out there these days. I know that by now, and that's why I keep up a very, very tall boundary when it comes to interacting with people that come to me with that energy. And if you don't know, you will soon find out if you come to me the wrong way. I just want to throw that out there. But anyway.
Wait, so you have all this energy for people commenting on your video, but none of it for the Dusty Man in New York. Like you ready to drag people commenting on the video that ain't no told you that you need to fly yourself to New York, book your own hotel so that they can come see you. You ain't got that energy for them, but you got energy for other people just talking. Period. Go out, sis. I don't mind. Get draggers. Right, all boundaries for everyone else except the broke dusty man trying to get you to come to New York on your own dime to see him. Insane work. Priorities, ma'am. Priorities.
Before you get started, okay, I want to make sure you have all the information. So yes, there is a negative side to this personality type that I attach to, and I have met these men pretty much on a rolling schedule. Every 4 or 5 years of my life, I will run into a personality type and I'm like, ooh, but we can never go anywhere because they have those negative attributes that I just talked about. However, I want to give some of the positive ones too, because it just sounds like I'm on a mission to be hurt, and that's not what happens. So the first positive attribute is that we have the same senses of humor. We make each other laugh, and nobody laughs at me harder than these men. They think I am so funny.
That does not read the same way I think she meant it. When she goes, no one laughs at me harder than these men, after being the one who said these men play about me, that's insane work. I know she did not mean it that way, so I'm just going to put that. No one laughed at me more than these men is insane work, period.
Cackle, tears running down their faces. They have a real amusement when it comes to me. The second thing is that we are very physically attracted to each other. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes when you look at us, it's like, oh, you two? But there is a physical attraction there, even if they're not people that I would proudly show off and be like, oh, I'm talking to him, or maybe vice versa. But there is that attraction. The next thing is that there is a very childlike sense of fun and freedom when we're around each other. I mean, one of the guys that I used to hang around, that I had this.
You met this man once, girl. How is this cutting up?
Connection to, I'd be doing the splits and cartwheels around him, and one time there is a kinetic, fun, exciting energy, and it's just so playful, and you feel like a kid, and it's great. Also, there's a lot of tenderness between us. They're often very big brothery, very paternal with me, although it doesn't extend to actually like doing things for me, really, really stepping in and being my man. When
they're very paternal, but it does not extend to doing things for me or financial. Sorry, I'm trying to understand what paternal means. They don't do things for you and it's not financial. Am I better? Am I better? Drop a one if I'm better. I don't want to continue if I'm not. All right, good. Someone said probably an absentee father. They're very paternal, meaning an absentee father. Got it.
They're around me, they'll be it's weird. They're nurturing in a way. Nurturing in a way. They are. They do have that aspect of them. Ooh. Another detail. The connection feels so, for lack of a better word, celestial. Like there's something.
Y'all remember this woman told you she go to the bottom of the barrel to pick up men? You remember she said she just take whatever she can get. And some of them don't shower, they don't bathe, they're disgusting, they're homeless, they're broke, all of that. And they're celestial and paternal and girl, hang it up. We don't believe you. Next.
Deeply spiritual and like weird about it. And I'm not going to get
that man just told you he could never love you. Like let's not play these games talking about they're celestial. Okay, please.
too many details here because then this video would be 7 hours long. But because of these connections, that turned on the woo-woo side of my brain. I was just a normal person going through life and then running into these types of people and the circumstances and the signage and the synchronicities. And I mean, I should write it all down one day as like a huge story time or a huge story that traverses all of the decades of my life, because it's incredible the amount of connections and things. And when I'm around them, it just feels very, very spiritually like something bigger than me and him has pushed us together. And initially, at least in the beginning, they think I am so beautiful. So I know I'm not a person who a lot of people are attracted to. I don't have that experience, but for whatever reason, these men are struck right in the beginning. And I'm like, really? Me? Like one of them, I met him when I was mad. And so I was protesting and I showed up to a public place in sweats with a do-rag on, and I was talking, and he goes, "That's the day that I remember encountering you." And it was like there was a light that shone on you or something. It was just you were so beautiful to me.
This is the same woman that said she went to a bar with the men and the men said, "Can you pay for the alcohol?" Like, girl, please. They said there's something shining on me. This sounds like some hotep man trying to get in your head, girl. Please. To hold this view of how men interact with you, and also that no man has ever done anything good for you or provided for you or like sent you anything, is kind of insane to me. It's kind of insane to me.
And it's incredible, like how good it looks at the beginning. But every time there is that common denominator of financial issues, they don't really want to commit. They're already connected to something in their past that they can't let go of. They're lying. They're hiding.
Something meaning another woman. That's what something means. So she's just sleeping with people's men, allegedly.
Something, and then we end up hating each other.
Again, not a read on her, but more of the men. I'm just pointing out that she says something instead of another woman.
And they never fully fall in love with me. It's very confusing. It happens to me like every 4 or 5 years. It's so bad. I started looking into like past life therapy. There's this book I talk about all the time called Many Lives, Many Masters. And the girl in the book who is experiencing past life therapy, her name is actually Stephanie in the book, and it's supposed to be a true story. Anyway, I will let you do some research and figure out what that is. But I started looking into it. Like, what is it about this type of man? And it doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter. I can be anywhere in the world. Let's see. I've met one in LA. I've met one in Houston. I met one in New York. I'm, wherever I go, I can be doing it, and they will find me every few years. Oh, and they always talk about having a baby. They always talk about that. And some of them try and do it. But anyway, this is my story. That's kind of like the positive part of it, because I know you guys will want to get in and you'll want to kick your feet up and rub your ashy ankles together. No, let me stop. You'll want to rub your feet together and you'll want to start diagnosing and get in and that's why I presented this story too. That's part of the entertainment of going through something ridiculous. If you choose to talk about it publicly, people are just going to get excited to dig in and criticize and analyze. And so that's why I offer this to you as well. But I want you to have all the information, right?
Thank you, Steph. I appreciate the clarification and also the permission to review this. I mean, without the permission, I was going to review it. without the permission, I was going to watch it. I might leave it open now that you gave me permission.
And just a reminder, sometimes some unsolicited advice gets a very funky little fresh comment from me back, and I usually wait before I check the comments on stories like this. So, but you don't want to be sitting up minding your business a year from now. And I've worked on how I respond to people, but I can't always control how I snap back when someone says something that's a little bit, well, you shouldn't be saying it. Anyway, I wanted to make sure you had all the information. Now you do. I present to you the rest of the story with no interruptions. Analyze away. And this guy met me when I was 39 years old. I had moved for like the third time in 3 years. I had started a new career, but I was starting to see the darker side of it. So I wasn't super excited. Wasn't really feeling on top of the world with what I was doing for a living. I had been told I couldn't have children. And I was kind of living this weird, isolated, but like free life where all of my socialization happened when I traveled. But when I was at home, I was just wondering, like, what is to come of me now? What am I now? What is a 39-year-old borderline infertile person with 90% less friends and a weird job? What does she do? What does she mean to the world? How can I even date when I can't answer that question? Like, I was just very confused. And I felt very lonely. And I also felt very distant from my body. Yeah, just very disconnected. And that's when he met me. And from the first night that we met, there was a charm there, there was a magnetism there, and there was a physical connection as well. And so when we decided to stay in contact, it was not hard at all for me. With him having the personality he had, it's like I recognized him immediately. I was like, oh, you. And I also was so attracted to him physically, which was a first for me. Normally men that come my way, they don't show up in photographs. You can take a photograph, but you're not going to see, they can't be photographed. And we had already proven that we had this great physical connection. And so I was locked in and I was just waiting on him to compromise with
me. You were locked in because of how physically attractive this man in New York that you only met once was. You were locked in.
And I waited for 2 years. And it was some of the worst things that I could have done to my nervous system. It was terrible for my emotions. We fought like cats and dogs. But he kept coming back. And so the most terrible thing about that was I was locked into this delusion that I had a love story. Me, Stephanie, I had a love story. And it doesn't help that, I'm older, that I had moved to this city, which I like. I like this city. It's not the place for dating though, but I don't know that there's any city that's that for me. So basically what I'm saying is it doesn't help that it's hard to move on. It's hard to see other people. It's hard to meet who's interested, what's going on. Like I had him, which was a guarantee. You have these strong feelings for him. He makes you feel this way. When y'all are arguing, you have a really light and fun connection. Physically, you really enjoy him. And now you have to go out in the world and try other things. And that's where you get things like The Last First Date. If you saw that for my Love Wrapped series that I did back in December, where I went on one of the worst first dates of my life. And it was my last first date for 2025 and my first date for 2025. And I want to say that it was my second date in 5 years. When I was going out in Houston and stuff, I was not asked out on dates. I'm not joking. And online dating's been weird for me since I came back to Texas 6 years ago. So I haven't really even gone on dates. And then I meet this dude and I'm like, I got to the beginning of this year after we had this blowout fight at the end of 2025. I got to the beginning of this year and I knew I needed to change, but I just didn't know what it was going to be. And so I reached out to him at the end of January, after we hadn't talked for like 2 months. I reached out to him and I told him, I'm in a lot of pain here. I have all this emotion that I want to give you.
So I don't want to be mean, but I'm going to say this. I am. If this is how y'all sit around and say man ain't ish, if this is where we are, I have a problem. Because to sit up here and the man let you go about your business, the man told you, I could never love you, I just want this. And you told him, okay, bye, I don't want this. And then you're going to reach out to him 2 months later to tell him you got a lot of feelings you want to give him. Like, wait. I don't understand. Like, okay. I think a decent human being, if that were me on the other end of that email, would say, I understand you have a lot of emotion you want to give to me. I appreciate the offer. I would rather, at this stage, I cannot accept these emotions. Application decline. Obviously you don't feed this kind of desperation, right? Like, obviously a good guy does not feed into this kind of desperate low self-esteem kind of effort. You don't, because you have to be the bigger person now to cut the cord, because this person thinks you have a woman, this person knows you're broke and don't want to be with them. You already told this person you could never love them. So now it's on you, right? To like cut it. But if you want to use this person in a very specific way, and this other person, Steph, is saying, yeah, I'll allow you to use me like that. Actually, I want to be used like that. Is it wrong to indulge? Like, is it wrong for the guy to indulge? Because he said he's made it very clear now what he wants, and that he's not about to invest anything at all into you. There is no investment. He does not care about you. He wants nothing to do with you outside of you flying yourself up there to sleep with him. That's all he wants. That's all you claim to want. But it's clear you want more. But if you're communicating to him after he set his boundary up, and I think this is a boundary, I will never love you. I only have this for you. That it's clear what he said. And then you come back 2 months after and you're like, you know what? I thought about it. I'm back. I think a better man would say, no, you are not. So I'm just going to leave you where you are. But a man who is selfish, which most people are, is not about to just tell you no after you say, okay, here I am on a platter. They can't be photographed because she think they're ugly. She think the other man ugly, girl.
And I have these feelings and I don't have anywhere for them to go. And I'm so sorry about what happened with us. If you remember, so the lusty emails.
You are so sorry for what happened with us when he's the one who told you that he could never love you. Why are you apologizing? I mean, at this point, you're just begging to be like,
whatever, cancel flights, blah, blah, blah. That's not the only story I've done about him. I also did another one called All Her Fault. And that was around the time that we had this big blowout argument in November. So I've actually done 2 dedicated story times about this man and hinted at him in other videos. Oh, since 2023. So, but I said, I have all these emotions. I have all these feelings. I'm so sorry that we fought, whatever. I hope you're having a good 2026. And I sent it out into the ether. And that thing bounced back to me. And the computer told me, he doesn't exist. This email doesn't exist. And I said, what?
Girl, I wasn't ready. Girl, I was okay, period. Good on him. Good on him. Props to him. Props to him. Even better. Blocked. Period. This is good. This is good. I give him credit. Period.
And so I sent it to another email that I knew he had because that was part of our thing. I would block him. He would pop up with another email. I would block.
Wait, so you sent it to another email. So you didn't just say to say, you needed to get contact with him. You sent it to another. Okay, I take it back. Yes, a good person would have not disengaged, right? A good person would have disengaged. A bad person would have engaged, but a neutral person might still engage. Because if you're trying this hard and you're this desperate, girl, he blocked you on one email and you're going find multiple other emails, girl, please. It's her fault. Whatever happens further, let me stop because we don't know what's happening. But like, I blame her mostly right now.
Him, he'd pop up with another email. That's also negative because that makes me think he cares about me more than he does. But what he really cared about was winning. Okay, it was never about me. It was about him, about winning. But we'll get to that. But I had several emails for him. I sent my little letter out to all of them. I got a bounce back on all emails, all 3 I think I had for him. And so I had a 4th one, and I sent.
I'm so sorry. How many times this man gonna tell you he don't want you for you to believe him?
the email to that and it went through. And I was like, well, there we go. He apparently was trying to block me from doing something. And so I guess we'll never speak. And at least he knows how I feel. Let me move on. But I couldn't. I was in a lot of pain. February was hard. I would be okay during the day. And when the night falls, my lonely heart would call. I had an ache here. I had an ache in my womb, and they would go back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. Ache, ache, ache. It was horrible. I started looking into how does the brain function? How can I process these emotions differently? How can I do? I felt stuck. My energy felt stuck. I did not know what to do. And I tried to go back on the dating apps. I was like, maybe I can meet someone. I don't want to meet anybody in this state. I don't want to. I didn't know what to do. And then
So I see a comment, so I'm gonna wait and then I'm gonna respond to it now. I actually don't have a problem with her having like physiological response to her emotions because I don't. That's unless y'all know that doesn't feel like something you can stop. But yeah, you need help. Like if you're having a if a man you've met once in your life is stressing you out like this, I do think you might actually need to invest in help, like mental help.
a couple days before Valentine's Day, he pops up from one of his deleted emails. So what I figured out he did was he has an iPhone, he has a lot of aliases. He cuts them off when he doesn't want to be reached. Touche. All right. Ain't got to worry about me no more. But
Yeah, was she dating ABBA? You know ABBA quick with the block. You know ABBA quick. Y'all know ABBA quick with the block. Was Steph dating ABBA, girl?
thank you. So he pops in and he's like, blah, blah, blah. And he sends me this email. And I don't respond for weeks because I'm like, he sounds angry. He doesn't, the email is not feeling like I thought it was going to feel. Like I always thought eventually this man was going to be like, damn, she ain't asking for much. She just want a plane ticket and me to put some money on this hotel so that we can have our little lovers weekend and whatever. I can do something. He refused. He never wanted to compromise. So whenever he popped back in, he was still like, this is all your fault. You did this. I can't ever accept a woman who talks to me like you talk to me, who does the thing. I was like, oh, I'm not reading that. Never mind. And I'm not responding. At least I know he's alive though, and he read what I had to say. So I moved on, or tried to. I get to the end of February, and he sends me an email, and he just says, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah." I decided to respond. I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I didn't think you actually wanted to talk, so I didn't respond."
What makes you think you good means he wants to talk? Wait, you sent him a paragraph about your feelings, an essay. You sent him a whole dissertation, and he messaged you at the end of February saying you good, and you thought that was an invitation. Yeah, let me tell them people to leave my food at the front desk because y'all don't piss me off. This one done like she done piss me off. Please leave at concierge. Done pissed me off. Imagine me, that man. She's kind of right. Like I just. Yeah, she has so many defenses, but her boundaries are sparse. I suppose we are meant to make room for that. I mean, we are. That's the part that's like, there is a part of this that requires a gentler touch than my own. The kid's like, ain't nobody got time for none of this. What do you mean? Like, my friend could never. We would be arguing. She would have another fight. Her and I would argue. Because what do you mean? He said, "What's you good?" And you decided to have like a fight. Like you decided to have a whole conversation. To you good, please. If you don't train these people how to talk to you, they're not going to talk to you. Like,
hope you're okay. I send it. The thing bounced back. That man emailed me, asked me if I was good, got my response before I could even send it. So that's the type of time he's on. And I'm like, wow. So going to March, and I'm like, okay, girl, we got to do something. And I think March was when I started posting regularly again. I was like, okay, the year has started. Let's go, let's go. Spring is coming. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I get all the way through March, and I'm still not feeling like me. I'm still not feeling something that's still wrong. And there were certain things that I would see and experience when he was going to come back around. So we had a very off and on, situation. I started seeing those things and experiencing those things again. There was little signs, little this, little that, hints from the universe that I was going to be getting
some off and on, off and on. y'all have met, you met this man once. Y'all are barely talking over the phone. You're like, oh, 30 days don't go by without us talking. 30 days? Girl, y'all are not even pen pals at this point. Y'all are strangers still. I just,
communication. And I just knew I'm not reaching out. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not getting no more bounce back emails. I'm not texting him. I'm not doing anything. Whatever. Beginning of April, he reaches out and all he says is some trash about not blocking me or something, whatever. And I'm like, okay, this stops now. I need to see this person. This energy needs to be released. This situation needs to move forward. This stops now. So on the other side of my brain, on the other side of my life, I had a show that I really wanted to see in New York, and it was Chicago, starring Whitney Levitt and Mark Dallas.
see, here she go. Here she go. This is the foolishness I was expecting. This. Instead of saying, I'm flying myself to New York to go see this man, she's trying to make an excuse to why she wants to go to New York, and it has nothing to do with this man. When the only reason she don't want to see a show, she don't care nothing about no show, she don't care nothing about none of that. She is going there for that man. I don't know why she's telling us about her show. To be fair, she probably justified in her mind this way. Which I guess I don't hate that. Because at least you delude yourself into an excuse for why you're going to New York so you didn't have to confront the fact that you're really desperately flying up there to go see a man on your own coin. Period.
I'm a huge Dancing with the Stars fan, and I loved Whitney on Dancing with the Stars. And I hated when she got kicked off because Secret Lives of Mormon Wives premiered during Dancing with the Stars. People didn't like her, whatever. I loved Whitney. When they said she was going to be in Chicago, I was like, I want to go see this. And then they said Mark was going to be there with her. I've loved Mark, I feel like, for 20 years since Dance with the Stars came on. So I was like, I want to see it. I wanted to go for my birthday. I'm happy I didn't go because Mark joined Whitney in April, so I would have missed him. So I was like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy my ticket to go see Chicago on Broadway, and I'm going to tell this man that I'm coming. And because I'm going to the city for this show, I'm not going to take no long trip because I've researched so many times, like, a quick little trip to New York because of him. I know what hotel to stay at. I know when I'm coming in. I know the flight. Like, all I need to do is set it up. I'm going to tell him I'm coming, and that's going to be it. Now, on the flip side, what I had wanted him to do was get on the phone, call me up, and say, you coming, girl? Really? Let's make some plans. But all he seemed to want to do was write me emails. He wouldn't call me.
What part of any interaction did you have that indicate to you that this man was keen on making plans with you? Like, I don't. In her previous video, she talks about, oh, I'm just gonna buy the ticket. I'm going to show up, and she was supposed to go. I think she even bought the ticket once, and he said, okay, when you get here, when you find the hotel, take yourself around and I'll come to you at night. And that's why she canceled. So from that experience, you should already know that man busy during the day, that man probably works at night, and he gonna sneak out of his work to come see you so that he can go back to his girlfriend, baby mama, wife, or fiance, who he lives with. Like, please, Steph, please. Like, stop pretending you don't know what this is. Talking about you were expecting him to tell you about going on dates. That man told you he could never love you. A man who respects you is never going to tell you he could never love you. She needs to tell her that. Tell her that. Because she do.
Call me. And I was like, I'm not responding. Like, I got my ticket. And then that Chicago ticket was not cheap. I got my ticket bought. I got my plane bought. Why are you disrespecting me by just sending me emails? Like, whatever. You have my number. You can call me. But he wouldn't call. And I was bothered by this. So the whole month of April, all he did was send emails I didn't read. And I would just say, I'm coming tomorrow. I'm coming. I didn't read anything he said. I didn't see a thing. So I go to New York in April. I fly in, I land. I'm a little upset. I'm like, damn, all this time, he still couldn't call me. Wow. Anyway, I go to my hotel. I go to my show. I'm having a great time. I love it. I get back to my hotel. I'm sleeping. And I wake up in the middle of the night. I check my phone. And I have a text message from an email that he used to have. Listen. And he's just like,
a man is messaging your phone from an email and you don't find that suspicious. A man who has your phone number is messaging you from an email and you do not find this suspicious at all. Steph knew exactly what she was doing. Steph knew exactly what she was doing. To be fair, it is not her responsibility to keep that man faithful to his girlfriend, wife, or fiance. But she knew exactly exactly what she was doing. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She knew that man was cheating and she was willing to have him cheat. And again, not your problem, Steph. You go dip and do whatever, but you knew what you were doing. Stop pretending like you don't.
I don't even think you're here. You keep telling me to call you. I don't have your number. I told you I didn't have. Why don't you have my number? Hmm, interesting. But I actually didn't get those texts because the first text he sent was just yo, and I was so mad because New York is so expensive. I came all the way out here. I done. I gotta leave, and and now you just want to say yo. Where's my phone call? So I didn't. I just sent him a picture of me at the show. I said I made it. I'm here. Whatever. I go home on Saturday early morning. So if you want to see me, you need to call me. And he's sending all kind of angry emails and whatever, let me know I can't call you. I don't have your number. And I'll be honest with you, I not only blocked his email from getting to my phone, but I also deleted the email that he had. Listen, I am a slippery bitch, okay? And if I've told you how I need this done, and you're not doing it, and I'm in your city, and I haven't paid money to see you, that was really.
You're not no slippery and you don't have standards. Please. Talking about I want it done an exact way, and if it's not done the exact way I want it, then I'm gone. No. You found your way to New York, girl. Please. You found your way to New York. You were working on his time. He completely ignored you until he had time for you in the middle of the night. No, do not try to reframe this as if you are standing up for anything. You're not standing up for anything, and definitely not for yourself.
Important. I could not go there just for him. That was really important. So I'm here. You need to figure out a way to call me on the phone. I'm not organizing this through, whatever. So I go the next day. I go out. I had one free day, and I go out and I go on a tour. And I come out of my tour, and he had blown my phone up. And I'm like, oh. So I call him and I say, somebody found my number. And he was like, you are horrible. Where are you? And I told him where I was, and he's like, what hotel are you at? And
you are horrible. Where are you? And then you told him where you. This just good. What that lady say? Worserer and worserer. This just get worserer. This just get worser. Like, what do you mean? He told you were terrible, and you told him where you were. Period, girl. I guess this is how the millennials flirt. Well, she's not a millennial. I'm a millennial. I guess it's how they flirt, girl.
Told him where it was, and he said, I'm on my way. And so, after 2.5 years, literally.
He's on his way. Did he ask for permission to come to your place?
On the dot. We met October 30th, 2023. And no, October 23rd, 2023. That's when we met. And we finally saw each other again face to face April 23rd. I'm lying. April 24th, 2023. 2025. So 2.5 years, like on the dot, plus a day. And we saw each other in person. And the first thing I did was give him a hug. We gave each other a little light hug, and then he sat down and he came with the energy. He wanted to let me know that he didn't like that I would send him a barrage of emails and he wouldn't have time to respond. Oh, if you call me on the phone, oh, you deleted my number. Oh, then he came back anyway. I'm thinking like potato. We were both acting like jackasses. Like, do we really have to get into this? But yes, he wanted to get into it. And then he also said something to me that made me stop in my tracks. This man said, oh, and I saw your podcast that you do. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. My podcast? What? Because this is what I do. I'm here. This ain't no podcast. What are you talking about? What did you see? And there is no way he saw these videos and still brought himself down to this hotel to meet me. There's no way. There's no way. He says, I saw your podcast that you do. And, you were talking about stop making fun of single people. And he laughed. And I was like, first of all, what are you talking about? Secondly, you don't get to laugh at me. It reminded me of this scene in Grey's Anatomy at the very beginning of the series when Meredith has been spending a lot of time taking a lot of boys home in bars, and Derek has noticed, and he can't say nothing because he chose to be with Addison. But one day he makes a joke because he's clearly jealous, and he makes a joke about it to her. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna take this guy home? You're gonna do this and that?" And she's like, "You don't get to call me a whore. You don't get to make fun of me because when I met you, I thought I met the guy I was gonna spend the rest of my life with. I was done with all the boys and all the bars, but you were married. You broke me, and you don't get to make fun of the way I put together what you broke. I'm all fixed up now. You don't get to call me a whore." I've watched that a couple times. And that's how I felt about him laughing at anything that I've done on the internet. I have expressed a great deal of pain about never finding the love of my life, about still being single, I've been very vulnerable and very honest. And he could have changed my life. Even just from the beginning saying, Oh,
So you're blaming him for something he didn't do. You're blaming him for not loving you. He could have changed my life. Yes, he could have. He didn't. And he didn't want to. And you knew that. You're mad at him because he could have changed your life when he told you straight up he don't want you. You're mad at someone because they could have changed your life after they done told you they don't want you. I am pissed because there is no reason, and I know she's not going to believe this, for her to have to be like this. There's no reason. I know she thinks she's ugly, but this girl is not ugly, and she needs help. She does need help.
your plane ticket, sure. Like even just having one good story, one good solid story where somebody followed the tradition and the standard of care and took care of me and treated me right. So you don't get to make fun of me talking about being a single woman, especially when you know how I feel about you. You don't get to make fun of me. And also, what did you see? And it turns out what he saw was a couple years ago. I didn't do her podcast, but I had mentioned her on my channel, and so she pulled a video that I had done and posted it on her Instagram page. And her podcast is called "Listen to Your Single Friend." And I was talking in the video about having gone on a date with a man who left me at Papacitos. If you know, you know. And he left me in the middle of the date. He ran out, and
Where's she finding these men? To be fair, if they if someone ran out on me in the middle of the date, that would broke my that I would come online and crash out. I would. In defense of Steph, if I showed up to a date and you go run out on me on the date, like we're in the date and you just left, I'm crashing out. Yeah, I'm crashing out. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you read it? Like, what do you mean? No, that fear. Yeah, I'm crashing out. I hope the bill paid too. I hope the bill paid.
and it took him about 25, 30 minutes to even communicate with me what was going on. Apparently, his daughter had broken her leg. He left me at the restaurant after showing up in pajamas, smelling like Black and Mild, turning down every suggestion that I had for a place to go out to eat, and bragging about the money that he had and everything he's done. When I asked him what he did for a living, to have nice cars and to have, that he was showing off. You want to show off your stuff? You want to show off your home? You want to show off your cars and tell me all these luxury things you have? I said, well, what do you do for a living? What do you do? And he showed me a website for a mobile car wash service and a children's sweatshirt company. Now, over the years, most people have agreed, and told me that those were shell operations to hide the fact that he was just a drug dealer. But at the time,
a man showed up to a date in pajamas smelling like Black and Mild, and he's the one who walked out on you. Yo, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. This guy. Girl, and I can.
I was just confused. Like, why show things off? When am I supposed to be a completely smooth brained individual and I'm not supposed to know and understand that something funky is going on here? And why are you spending so much time bragging? And where are your real clothes? And I don't care what is going on. You can give somebody the decency of saying, my child, it's an emergency. I'm sorry, I have to go. Venmo me, or you can Zelle me. I'll get you for the drinks. I'm so sorry. But he didn't think I deserved an apology. He didn't think I deserved any consideration. And he reiterated for me my belief that men who only have an unconditional love relationship with their child and they never developed it for their child's mother, or they've never had a romantic partner and felt that for the romantic partner, they probably don't need to date.
So you thought that man's child foot was actually broken? You think the man ran out on you while you were on a date after you asked him about money, and you believed him that his child was in the hospital? All right, girl. Period.
Because you, as their partner, will never be loved because they don't know how. They don't know how. I grew up with a man who can do both. I grew up with a man who loved my mother unconditionally and also practiced it towards me. And he was the first person. Well, I called my friend and, whatever, because we had a mutual friend that even made me go on the date, because I initially had blocked the dude. But after her, I told my dad what happened. And I said, I know what kind of dad you are, and I know how you stand 10 toes down behind us. How would you have treated it? And he said, things happened when you were little. There were emergencies. I excused myself. I told the people what was going on, and then I left. And then I called other friends of mine who had kids. I said, what would you have done? And they said, well, yeah, you tell the people you got to go. You don't just leave. You say what's going on. And a big question that we had at the time was the child alone at the hospital? Is that why he felt he had to run out? And it turned out that he just felt I deserved to be left because I asked him too many questions about money. And I guess he left out the fact that he was trying to brag and show off. And I just wanted some clarification.
Okay, so he confessed that ain't no child doing nothing. Because okay, at least you know that ain't no child doing nothing. There was no emergency. He cared nothing about none of that. He just left because he wanted to leave without telling you anything. At least you got there.
So anyway, that was the video that had been sampled on the Listen to Your Single Friend podcast. It was me talking about men and their concept of money and how they treat, something. And that was what had floated past his algorithm all these years later. Like, he and I were never even friends on Instagram. Okay. We were never friends on social media. And I never told him what I did. I don't tell men what I do, which after this situation, I'm going to have to change that for sure. But I initially thought when he said, I saw your little podcast, I thought he had seen the videos. And I was like, oh my God, he came here to kill me. But he was talking about that. And I found that out later. And I just told him, I said, oh, I don't want to talk about that. And he was like, okay. And so I knew he hadn't really seen nothing because normally if I do a video about somebody and they see it, oh baby, they ready to talk. They want to defend themselves. They want, I didn't do such and such. And with him, what I always made sure to do was keep receipts. So I have our text thread all the way from the very first night we met. Ain't nothing deleted. It's all up in here. Okay. So if he ever tried to say, I can do it, baby, I got the receipts. And not to mention all the GD emails. Oh my gosh. But anyway, when he told me that, I was like, oh no, things have gotten too real. But he quickly dropped it. So I said, okay. And we went up to the rooftop of the hotel that I was staying at. Cute little rooftop. I stayed at the Arlo Midtown. He had a lot of criticisms about it. Working in the hospitality industry, he saw something wrong with everything. And some stuff, it was understandable. But some stuff, it was like, dude, he came there with a funky little attitude. Like I said, he came there with the energy. He wanted to go at me. He wanted to criticize. He wanted to let me remind me, whatever. And he also, he just had a lot of opinions about everything. And some things that stuck out for me about that day were, number one, he never said anything nice about like the way that I looked or anything like that. So I actually didn't feel like he was attracted to me at all. And I thought we would have our little drink on the rooftop and then he would go home. But that is not what happened. The other thing that stuck out for me was
where you slept with him. Do you, girl? Do you?
he attempted to try and make his money mantra, his money, whatever, make sense. And in doing so, he revealed finally the truth of the other woman. So remember I said this particular personality profile of a man, if I meet a man like this, I know there's always somebody else. And he was locked in the most. I dated a guy who, my first and only relationship, who was still deeply in love with his ex to the point where he would have nightmares about her cheating on him. And I would have to talk him through those nightmares when he woke up the next day because he was so disturbed because she did cheat on him. She got pregnant with the next.
See, okay, you have no respect for yourself. Therefore, it is okay. I am not one of those people who believe in law of attraction. You call vortex everything into your life that you are. But there's a but. It's very difficult for people to respect you when you don't respect or value yourself, right? And I'm not saying they shouldn't respect you. I think you should respect people generally. And like when some people have low self-esteem and they cannot do the kind of work necessary to build themselves up, it doesn't mean you should mistreat them. So I'll put that out there. It is insane for a man to be with you, waking up in the middle of the night, having dreams about his ex cheating on him, and you sit there talking him through it. That is insane. This is like a game being played on you to see how far you're willing to stoop. That is insane. And you sat up there trying to talk him through the fact that his ex cheated on him in his dream. And you just felt like, oh, okay, cool. First of all, him telling you that means he does not value you. He does not respect you. This is not advice. Seamus, he was grieving. This is not advice. I'm just talking to talk. Let me just be very clear. I don't ever want someone to click me and say, oh, Seamus is giving advice. Do what you want. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to talk about it. It is insane that you go sit up on here talking about you coach your man through dreams he's having of his ex cheating on him. Do you believe? Not a self-respect inside.
Our neighbor's baby and got the hell out of Dodge because he was terrible. But he still deeply loved her to the point where one day, I had to listen to her, listen to, stuff about her enough. I made a little lighthearted joke at her expense. She ain't here. She's married to a whole other man, got his baby. Like, y'all been broke up for 7 years. What's the situation? But he loved that girl and he did not love me. Didn't even like me. Yeah. But I made a little lighthearted joke. I was like, yeah, well, not like so and so. And I turned around to my right and that man was looking at me like, I said, damn, I have never been, ain't no man ever loved me like that to where somebody's making fun of me. I don't think a boy, no male has ever.
Wait, sorry, this is not funny. So, Steph, you can't get mad at me. You know you're funny. You know you're trying to be funny here. Like you. You have to know you weren't trying to be funny, right? Like I don't want
Stuff about her enough. I made a little lighthearted joke at her expense. She ain't here. She's married to a whole other man, got his baby. Like, y'all been broke up for 7 years. What's the situation? But he loved that girl and he did not love me. Didn't even like me. Yeah. But I made a little lighthearted joke. I was like, yeah, well, not like so and so. And I turned around to my right and that man was looking at me like, I said, damn, I have never been, ain't no man ever loved me like that to where somebody's making fun of me. I don't think a boy.
No, no, this ain't right. This ain't right. Poor girl. Like, this ain't right. I feel like if this actually happened to her, imagine talking your man through dreams he's having of his ex cheating on him, and you make a joke about that same ex he's dreaming cheated on him, and he mad at you. Jesus be some self-esteem.
No male has ever cared about me that much to where if someone was making fun of me, he would be like, yeah, we can go. Actually, no, let me take that back. When I was a teacher, my little male students, they would stick up for me if somebody was talking shit. Because I saw it happen multiple times. Yeah. If one of them had something smart to say and they weren't respectful, watch out. I remember one time there was a little boy that wanted to make fun of my hair. And it was two little black boys. They were playing around and joking. And one of them, I had really like switched how I dealt with him because they're babies at 12 and 13. They're still babies, and you have to be sweet to them. Like they have to know you care about them, or they're going to rebel. And I changed my strategy with him, and so I've been very sweet to him and very kind. And we developed a really good little friendship. And he moved on to the next grade, and I had to go into his room to watch the classroom for something. And he was in there with another student, and I had this little hairstyle going on, and it wasn't great. And the other student, a little black boy, tried to make fun of my hair. Now, this probably threw me back and gave me PTSD.
He woke up in tears about the love of his life and found shame of being in the better. And then the other woman goes sit up there making joke. Imagine having nightmares about the love of your life and wake up to another woman, and that woman goes sit up there making fun of the love of your life. Girl, of course you gonna be mad. Yo, I'm sorry. Y'all ever sit up and you want someone else to text you? Like, so there are two people, right? There are two people. And one of them is bothering you. You know them people, like when you get text from someone you like, you're excited and happy and you text back and you're like waiting for them to text. And it's like this, like, and then someone in the midst of you like doing that little text back and forth, they took a little bit too long to text you back. And then the person you really don't want to hear from, like, hey, how are you? Please, please. Like, why are you on you're clogging up my line right now when I need someone. I'm waiting for someone else. And you just like, ugh, just run up my blood pressure, won't you? Absolutely not. It's one of the worst feelings in the world for the wrong person to text. It's like, girl, I'm sitting here. Imagine you're like practicing your law of attraction, like, call me, call me. And your phone ring and it's like definitely not the one. Girl, please, don't piss me off. That's abusive. Calling my phone when I don't want you to call me is a problem.
secondary PTSD, like threw me back into being a kid because that used to happen all the time as a kid. But something that never happened as a kid was another little boy saying, "That's not funny." And the kid who was trying to make fun of me was like, "Oh man, man, man." And I remember watching it and just kind of, I didn't want to give them too much of my energy because I didn't want to give the kid who was trying to make fun of my hair too much of my energy. But I saw it happen and I just kind of like looked down and smiled a little bit. And a little part of my inner child was healed that day because that never would have happened in middle school where I was. They would have just kept piling on. Yeah, her hair looks terrible. She's unbelievable, and made horse noises. That did happen when I was a kid. But I loved that situation. I was like, well, that's nice for me to experience that. But that's the only time. And I have other.
No, don't do that. I actually like this story. He said this little boy, she became sweet too, stuck up for her. That's sweet. I think that's a sweet story. Y'all don't got no heart. I think that's a sweet story. I thought that was a sweet story. I'm laughing because I'm laughing because it's still pathetic, but it's still it's still a sweet, like, them corny pathetic stories, but they're like still, like, to me, it's still sweet. She said, like, she's happy. A little boy stuck up for her. Ain't no way.
Stories like that because middle schoolers can be mean and if they are mean to you and there's a kid there who cares about you, they will defend you. But adult men outside of my father defending me, no. And there has never been a single man I've ever been involved with who's ever loved me. So watching him get so angry because I made a lighthearted joke at a woman who apparently made him miserable and is giving him nightmares years after they broke up, I was like, damn.
Then maybe you should give men nightmare and make them miserable, girl. I don't know. You're taking the wrong lessons. I'm joking.
Well, all right. We got to break up soon because, but also noted, like, that would be awesome to be loved like that one day. Like, they can't even make a joke about you after you cheated on him and had a baby on him. You still.
No. Yeah, I think her story with that little boy is actually like a sweet story. Like, I think it's a sweet story. I like seeing kids stand up to bullies. I like seeing kids stand up for what they believe is right, children. So I think, I mean, it's still like a pathetic story. Like, let's be very clear, because I don't believe her. I do not believe that she's never had a friend who is a guy who stood up for her. I do not believe that. I don't believe that. I think she catastrophized, and so she's an unreliable narrator, even of her own life.
Okay, nobody talk bad about you because he loves you still. Like, what? I have never experienced that level of love, even level of like from a man that I'm dealing with. So, anyway, we are on the roof, and I am finally getting the real tea on this other girl that I've always known existed. And I think I mentioned this in All Her Fault, at least. I mentioned this to you guys that I used to just refer to it as his domestic situation. I didn't want to look like a complete bird, but he still lives with the mother of his child. And I have heard of situations like this before. I've heard of it mainly and mostly when the child is young. And so y'all are still together because you just broke up and it's gonna take you a while for you to move out, whatever. But his child is not young. And basically, what I was told was that when the pregnancy first occurred, he went out and worked 3 jobs so she would be okay and wouldn't have to worry about nothing.
And he couldn't get you a plane ticket to come see him. He's working 3 jobs to take care of the woman he has a child with, who he lives with, and he could not get you a plane ticket to come see him. Told you he could never love you, and you don't. Also, he can never call you. He is emailing you and texting you from an email, but and you sign off your previous video by saying you think he's with another woman. But 1 and 1 is not 2 in your mind. 1 plus 1 is not 2. Got it. Period. Like, Steph is playing in our faces. Steph knew exactly what she was doing and what she was getting. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or but about it. She knew. She knew exactly what she was getting.
And even though the kid is older, and I guess she works, he still has that arrangement with her. So how the hell I expected ever to even be met halfway with travel accommodation? He's already extending his care and his generosity to a woman who he claims to be single from. That man would talk me down. I'd be like, but you're not single. You live in a, I am single. I'm single. Like, I don't get it. Y'all live together. Your baby's not young. We're single. And I think really when we get down to it, what he practices is ethical non-monogamy. He just does.
Girl, what part of this is ethical non-monogamy? Are you dumb? Like, this is pissing me off now. How you get to ethical non-monogamy? How did you get? How you got to ethical non-monogamy? First of all, the word ethical is all up in that sentence. How did you get to ethical anything? That man cheating on his wife. Like, you know it, I know it, we all know it, girl. Ethical non-monogamy. How you get there, Steph? Steph, please, how you get to ethical non-monogamy? You knew he was cheating, he knew he was cheating, and y'all both still did it. Like, I hate when people do this. He was in an ethical non. Did you talk to the wife? Did you speak to the other part of this ethical non-monogamous relationship? Did you talk to that person? Did you request to talk to that person? Please. He a cheater and you allowed the cheatation. Mind you, not your problem. Do what you want to do. But yeah.
Doesn't call it the right thing. You know, dealing with him, that he got something going on and it's something real serious. Okay. And you know that because of that, he's in.
If he's in an ethical non-monogamous, what is ethical about him lying to you about the situation he's in? If you believe him to be in an ethical non-monogamous relationship, what is wrong in this picture? Because he lied to you that he's not with the mother of his child, that they only live together, they are not together. What's wrong with that picture? Quickly. He lied to you about the relationship, but you found out they're in an ethical non-monogamous relationship. Quickly, what is wrong with that? If he was in an ethical non-monogamous relationship, he would have told you. Like, and then to say, to pronounce it.
Situation.
No, to pronounce it so as a so matter of factly is actually pissing me off.
But they let each other, they date other people because they know they're not the best match for each other. However, while I sat there with him on that windy rooftop, you know, in the middle of him complaining about the drinks and things that were offered, and he talked about his situation, I realized that, they're together. And any other woman, he's just mildly entertaining. He's going to always make sure she's covered and taken care of. And then he told me, for some reason, I don't remember what it was. He told me her racial makeup, her genetic makeup, and she is black and, okay? And that sent me into an internal tailspin because one of the things, and I've mentioned it in the last couple of videos a little bit, but one of the things that I've always realized about myself is when it came to dating, I never knew my demographic. I never knew who was out there looking and checking for me. It seemed like there never was a safe space. Like, okay, they like women like you here, right? Even when I thought I was in a safe space, oh no, you're not there. They actually don't like it like you. They like it like you, but like this. So yeah.
She's biracial. She found out the woman biracial and she lost her mind. Mind you, the man cheating on the biracial preference, the man cheating on the biracial preference, and she losing her mind that he's with a biracial. I don't like. You're trying to compete to replace a woman that a man is currently cheating on. You want to be like, I the jealous community will never ever rest. Like, you are jealous of a woman getting cheated on. by a broke bandit who can't afford a plane ticket. I. Yeah, yeah. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much.
Whereas I feel like women who look a certain way, women who are black and women who are sometimes in the black community seen as the preference, their safe spaces everywhere. They just pop out and they have the opportunity to have resources and be covered and be taken care of. I've witnessed it a lot in my life. And as I get older and I never found, whatever.
Would you want that man to take care of you while cheating on you? Like, are you that desperate that you just want to be set up in this man's house while he's in a hotel room with another woman? The man, you're currently jealous of his baby mama. His baby mama is at home while he's in a hotel room with you cheating on her. Girl, this man said he took on 3 jobs to provide for his kids. The man broke, girl. Like, I don't know. Yes, Stephen, she would that.
And I'm not willing to look really anymore. I just wonder how different life would have been if I had been a woman where there were people who were looking for me, where I was somebody who I knew, okay, And I also just the optics of the situation. So she gets to sit at home and be taken care of and always know that whenever you go out to get the bag, you're going to bring it back to her. And I don't know what.
He is cheating on her. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you just going to ignore the fact that you were sitting across from this man cheating with him? Well, he's the one cheating. Like, she's not being taken care of. We don't know what kind of disease this man brings. It is what it is. Talking about he told me he loved me.
She looks like, but I'm willing to guess she's several shades lighter than me. And me, the darkie from the South, has to come up here and pay money to spend time with a man for an hour.
And did. And you did. And you did. You knew he had a relationship. Oh, you thought it was a dark-skinned woman. Would that have made it better? Because you still paid money knowing you knew, because at the end of your last video, you outright said he's with another woman. So you knew this man is a cheating, philandering, disgusting degenerate, right? You knew this. You paid money to go up there and see him, and you're mad now because he's with a biracial. Girl, please. Leave that preference alone. That preference getting cheated on and you're mad. And you pay, like, you waste, like, oh, Jesus. I just can't. I cannot. Also, how did the other girl's race come up? How did, like, I'm trying to figure out, did you go, oh, my baby mama, is your baby mama black? And you go, oh, she's white. Like, how did the, like, how did the preference makeup come up? Yeah, girl, right? That's yeah. I couldn't get them. Girl, Steph Curry's fans love her because she's real honest. So, period.
Optics are nasty, just nasty, and not the way that what's that girl's name? Alabama Barker says nasty with the poochie outfit. No, they're not nasty, but actually great. They're just nasty. These are not great optics. And so he's saying this, and I'm fully disassociating at this point. I'm just like, God, this is terrible. There's no way that we're going to be physical with each other. And then he keeps doubling down on the money thing. And then he says to me, and you're not the only woman that I've dealt with recently that has a problem with how I do money. I was dealing with this one woman and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I have paid you gonna sit up here and talk to me about another woman in my face?
Yes, he does not respect you. What part of that did? Wait, what part of he does not respect you do you not get? So you are not the only woman he's cheating on his biracial preference with. And you're still jealous of his biracial preference. You said you were in a back and forth with him for 2 years, and in that 2 years, he's been with other women. And he's telling you, and you're sitting there worried about whether or not y'all gonna do the do tonight. She's still worried about and mind you, she put it off on him So it's not like she's saying, I am closing this down. I am setting boundaries around myself right now. I'm protecting myself. He's talking about a biracial that he's with. He's telling me to fly up here, spend money while he's spending money on the biracial and cheating on that biracial. And now he is telling me about other women that he's been with while he was talking to me and with his biracial preference. At this point, you now need to make the decision that this is done. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Because we know she ain't want to go see no play. Like we know the play was a scheme Todd set up to go to New York with the bullshit. Timus, please don't watch the real uncut version of Patreon. I almost cussed her out. No. The bull. Shh.
But his whole point was, she would say, you should be a provider and you should do XYZ. And I would tell her, well, hey, but when we go out, do you ever have to pay for anything? Do you ever? And it's like, well, what about the future? Well, baby, I hate to tell you this, but he already taking care of somebody. He already providing. So he ain't got no more for you. That's just what he need to go ahead and say. But he's saying this to me, and I'm like, but I'm very different than a woman who lives down the street. I was coming all the way up from a different state, and you couldn't house me, because he would try and compare what would have happened if he came to visit me. I told him plenty of times, I got room.
Yo, if she put this kind of tenacity into anything, she would be one of the most successful people in the world. The fact that y'all tell me there is a Patreon version where it gets worse than this is absolutely insane. I do not believe you all. I don't believe you. I think this is as bad as it gets, and you're not going to convince me of anything else.
Oh my God, space. You could have come and stayed with me. Like, it's not as expensive as New York to get, like, what are we talking about? So I try and interrupt him. I'm like, but wait, I'm different. I'm coming from out of town. And he's like, you're always interrupting me. You interrupt me. And I realize I do interrupt men when they're saying bullshit. I do interrupt. Are you saying some bullshit? Well, I'm going to interrupt. But I was just silent.
Girl, why you like, this like, I am that girl. I will interrupt you. I am slippery. I say what I mean. No, Steph girl, no, you're not that girl. You're still up in New York buying your ticket, having that man in your hotel room, and you're probably going to. I am 90% sure that it's going to happen. I'm 90% sure it's going to happen, even after all of this.
And I let him finish, talking. And he's like, I have to leave this rooftop. I'm very cold. And he starts sneezing and sniffling and doing whatever else. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I'm feeling tired. I feel like I need a shot of espresso. And I'm like, oh, they have a great coffee shop downstairs. We can go downstairs. You want to keep talking? I really didn't know what he wanted at this point. Because here's the thing. He's told me that he basically keeps a woman in his house who he never.
I am really cold. I need to get an espresso. You go, oh, we can go downstairs. They have a coffee shop downstairs and we can keep talking at 12 o'clock at night. Oh, you tired? You call goodbye. Like,
don't have to worry about the bills. And I'm not special. And I should shut my black ass up about it. And also, you're single. What are we doing? What are we doing? So I'm thinking, he might want to go get a cup of coffee and then be on his way and bounce or whatever. And he's like, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, there's a bathroom down there. And he's like, no, I don't want to use that bathroom. I want to use the bathroom in your room. I want to see what your room looks like. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, and at this point, I've had 2 rosés. One he actually took care of. So I can say
he wanted to use the bathroom, but he only wanted you to use the bathroom in your room so he can see what your room look like. Girl, you ain't drunk enough. You ain't drunk enough for this foolishness. Please. Talking about, oh, I said okay.
He got me one thing. And the whole time I knew him, I've gotten one thing. All right. Oh, 2 things. I got a cup of coffee. And I got myself a rosé to go. And so I'm just talking and whatever. Because at this point, I'm like, this man is not attracted to me and he does not like me. So ain't nothing about to go down. I can't see it happening. And we get to my room and he goes to the bathroom. And I'm like, I really like Port Chicago. I'm just whatever. And I turn around and, well, he's ready to go. And, I skipping some steps here. There were some things in between that. He did this, like, he did the seduction thing. And you're going to say, Stephanie, please don't say that you did the do with that man.
No, no one is gonna say, please don't say that. Everyone knew you. Like everyone know you did it. Like come on. Like ain't nobody gonna say, Steph, I can't believe you. Yeah, we know you did it. Like girl, like it's not like you've shown anything about having standard. Like ain't nobody saying, please don't tell me. No, we everyone knew as soon as he said he wanted to use your bathroom and see your as soon as you flew to New York with your own money and pretended you needed to go watch a play, we knew what was up, girl. Please. Stephanie, please don't tell. No one says that. No one said that. No one said, Stephanie, please don't tell me. We at this point as a story girl, we all knew what was up. It's not like you just randomly go and find some self-esteem right there. Like, piss me off.
After he sat up there and disrespected you on that rooftop. And okay, I won't say it. And what I will say is I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that, here's the thing. I had such a horrible experience with the last person I tried to be physical with. I'm a 42-year-old woman who never got the chance to really enjoy her sexual prime. And I feel like you really enjoy it when you have a consistent partner that you trust, that you're attracted to, that you can go back to, that you can really learn yourself. I never got that experience as a human being. Okay. I've got about 10 seconds before I head into menopause and my life starts changing and my hormones are fighting each other. So just being in my body and knowing how it responds and how it reacts and it's still doing what it did 10 years ago when there's a man around is such a blessing. And being around a man who understands his body and isn't suffering from ED because it's a pandemic out here and understands my body. And he brought props. He brought stuff to do. I got a massage. Like when he got to the room, he flipped the switch and he was like, I've come here. This is the business I've come here for. Now that I've yelled at you, now I want to do this. And I guess because I had disassociated so much while we were on the rooftop, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I wanted to do this too. And so we did for some time. And, I'm not going to say it. You can fill in the blank what we did, but we were busy. And what I loved about it was our actual like funky, fresh, fun connection was evidence. We do have a good time together. We do make each other laugh. There's a softness to him. And like I said, he's that personality profile that I always fall in love with. There's an easy charm there.
That man looked you dead in your face and told you he could never love you. Like we're not about to skip or there's a charm. He is so charming. He's so kind. I could never love you. Ain't no charming, ain't no love, ain't none of that. Please. Ugh. Mind you, she's trying to convince herself of this foolishness. Ain't nobody thought this man cheating on his wife was charming. Ain't nobody sat up there and thought the man cheating on his wife who told you he's cheated on his wife with multiple other women, now including you, is charming. Ain't nothing charming about that. And you knew what you were doing too. Like, I don't like people like, oh my God, he might have a wife, who knows? No, you knew. You knew. So you were doing some degenerate foolishness. Or girlfriend, you knew. He told you that he's been with another woman in the time y'all were talking. Gray Pill Pod, welcome to the membership. Thank you. Don't piss me off.
I got to experience intimacy for me, past physical intimacy, like just being able to lay next to somebody, put my hands through their beard. He gave me a bath. He's actually like a really intense and intentional, that's what I mean to say, caretaker. And I unfortunately loved being around him. After he finished his griping, he was a delight. And as we like came to a close, I didn't want to put any pressure on him. I didn't want to ask any questions because I think I was still I don't think I was in my own body. I think I was just like, and he leaves the room and he puts his hand out and I say, oh, are we holding hands now? Are we at that level? And he shook his head and like smiled at me. And so I grabbed his hand and then he let my hand go and got in the elevator and he said, bye. And the elevator door closed. And I went back to my room and I was like, wait, that's it?
Wait, what do you mean if that's it? That man gotta go home to his wife. What do you thought this was? What do you thought this was? Oh, we're holding hands now. Yeah, because we're in the privacy of your room that you paid for, that you flew up here for, and he's about to leave because he got what he came for. He is so seductive and sweet and kind. Yeah, and now he got to go home to his wife and kids. Goodbye. Take your flight back home. Please. Piss me off. Steph, don't sit up here and piss me off. Like, what do you mean? Don't piss me off in my team. No, she done pissed me off. Like, girl, like, so I know the self-esteem problem is an issue. I know that there is a collective self-esteem problem, but like I didn't realize how much lack of self-esteem animate certain action, right? Because in my mind, there are still standards, right? But you're going to activate and you're going to behave a certain way because of the standards you preset. Even if you go home and you cry about it and you're bawling to your friends and you're scratching the wall and you're like yelling or whatever, but you do the action that you know is in your best interest because you've created certain kind of standards to protect yourself because you have low self-esteem. You cannot be trusted to go and do the things you need to do to maintain your self-worth and dignity because you have low self-esteem. So I assume most people put those barriers up like, oh, if a man do this, then that. If a man does not do this, then I don't do that. Like I thought this was like just like a general sense so that we can protect ourselves when our low self-esteem pop up and have us doing degenerate foolishness. But apparently not. Like you go, the man don't tell you you look good. The man don't compliment you. The man does not try. The man does not help. The man does not provide you anything at all beside one glass of wine, and that's it. He actually insults you multiple times, lies to you about his relationship status, and also tells you he's been with other women besides you in the time y'all were talking. And then he wanted to use the bathroom, and you go in the bathroom, come out ready, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. This cannot be what y'all mean when you say these men tricking y'all. This can't be it. I refuse. I refuse to accept this is what is meant when people are saying men are tricking them and black men are running amok or this men are running amok. I refuse to believe this is what is happening. This cannot be what is happening because it's clear as day what was happening. And Steph knew, she just decided to shut her eyes and run right into it. Maybe she's jealous of his girlfriend. All women subconsciously. Some women are. No, it's not a maybe. It's not a maybe. She's overtly jealous of a woman being cheated on. She's overtly jealous of a woman that is actively being cheated on with her. Like you're with the man cheating on his woman, and you're jealous of the woman. As if you weren't with him, he wouldn't be cheating on you too. What kind of wine though, and was it chilled?
Two and a half years. And that's it. We only got 3 hours together. Huh. So I took a nap and I woke up and I was very confused. Before we had this time, I could not go no amount of time without this man telling me about my fat chocolate sexy. I could not go an hour without this man telling me about my thick, sexy chocolate.
She's lying again because she just said he came over there and didn't compliment her at all. She didn't even think he liked her. So to say prior to doing that, he was always compliment her is a lie. Straight up lie. Either she was lying before, she's lying now, but she's lying. So, and no, it's not delusion. No, it's not, oh, I can't remember. She lied.
Whatever self and my body this and that. When he was around me, he said nothing. I mean it when I say he said nothing complimentary the whole time we were together. And I took a nap and I woke up, didn't hear from him. And I sent him a text and he was like, yeah, okay, cool. I hope you get home safe though.
I hope you get home safe is insane. But he's charismatic and kind, girl, please. As a 60 seasoned woman, did I just hear her coming into using bus as an excuse to sleep with that bum? Right. Right. Get home safe is crazy. Thank you, Sandra. Get home safe is crazy work. I cannot. I can't. To be fair, let me be fair to Steph in that I do not understand her psychology. And because I do not understand her psychology, I am definitely not the one to be commenting on any of this. I can't. I am too blunt, too strict. This don't make sense to me.
That's it. There was no, so I had fun today. I hope I see you again. Like, it was really like,
You want to know something? When my friends do foolishness and they're coming to me, they come to me and say, I know I messed up. I'm doing it for the plot. It is never this like, oh, I'm confused. Because they gotta get real intuitive. They gotta get real logical before you come to me with some foolishness. Because this don't make no sense. This don't make no sense. If Stefka was here saying I did it for the plot, it would be a very different. Stefka was in love. Steph was in love. And I'm trying to figure out how you in love with a man who told you he couldn't love you. I'm trying to figure out how you were confused that a man who has a wife slash girlfriend slash fiance and a child at home is going to do the do and leave immediately. Like I'm confused why you were confused that he would leave right after.
it was looking like he was really done. And I'm gonna tell you and be honest with you, we had kind of talked that way before I headed out there that we were gonna be done after this, that this was it. We just needed to see like what was it about us together, our bodies together that sent us into a full psychosis for like 2 years? Like what happened? And I think
So y'all talked about what y'all would do when you got out there, but you didn't tell him you were gonna go immediately, and you weren't going for him. You were going to watch a play, and if you saw him, you saw him. If not, you didn't because you were going to see a play. So, all right, Steph, Mm. Get that lie together.
one of the things I was feeling too was shame. Like, oh, was I not good enough? Like, did I underwhelm him? Like, was I, we were doing things in the light of day. And I felt a lot of shame around that because I have marks and things on my body. So maybe he saw cellulite and he saw this and that, and maybe I'm not as beautiful as his kept woman at home, which is just ridiculous. I shouldn't even have that in my brain. I didn't even really process that till I got home. I was like, wait, what? But in general, there was a sense of after he left, and I could like feel it. So I sent him a nervous email or two. Oh, I really think that I don't know, and I hope maybe we ended up with a good note. But I came back to Texas, and I just felt weird. I didn't feel finished. I didn't feel like, oh, done with that. I felt very unfinished, and I'll tell you why. It was because I didn't plan on coming back single. This is another negative part.
Wait, what do you mean you didn't plan on coming back single? You knew that man had a wife, girlfriend slash fiance. And you said you went because you wanted to watch a play. That's the story you told us. But you did not plan on coming back single. What did you come back? What did you plan on coming back? I'm trying to figure out. Demas, end the live, please. Wait, no. I need Steph to explain what she. What exactly did you expect to come back home? If not single, then what? You thought you met this man once, and you thought the second time you met him, y'all were gonna like be married, like. And mind you, the man don't even text you. The man don't text or call you. That man emails. Let me text have a good night so I can say I did my part tonight. When you're trying to be consistent, you gotta text good night and good morning. And ain't nobody got time for none of that. So I have to remind myself. You gotta remind myself. I'm married now.
Part of us coming back to each other and him popping up every month, whatever. I, in my mind, had this idea that we were these legendary lovers, and we were going to meet and see each other, and it was just going to be, tender love, and that's kind of what it was like. But after afterwards, there was no follow up. He felt nothing. It was nothing. There was no.
I feel so bad. I do feel bad because I think she I'm using the word delusional as a descriptor. It don't matter. She's delusional enough to believe that like this was going to like she was gonna show up and it's gonna be like sparks and he's gonna be so attracted that he chooses her and they were gonna run off into the sunset. The same man that said I could never love you. The same man that told her I could never love you, will not give her any money to come up, will not get her a place to stay, will not go out with her, will not take her on a date, will not hold her hands in public, would even go for a coffee outside of the hotel. This man has given you absolutely every indication that he's not interested in you in the least bit. He don't like you, he doesn't respect you, and you thought just showing up was gonna make him love you. Let me be very clear. Let me stop. I feel like you do this in like high school when you're like, you put on your best clothes and you're like, oh, when they see me in school tomorrow, it's going to be on. And they're going to apologize for not sitting with me at the lunch table. Like, what is this?
The yearning was gone. The need was gone. He was done. I was like, really? And so I was sitting with that, and I was also sitting with the fact that he had been coughing and sniveling and sneezing on that rooftop and had kissed him. And I came back to Texas sick. And so Saturday I came back. Sunday I was out. I was asleep. I was congested. It was not good. Monday I hawked it back. I took some Dayquil, and I made some videos. I made a video about, gosh, Emma Grebe. I made a video about Meg and Clay, But I did not feel good. And I was also thinking about him a lot. I was like, what does it all mean? Are we really done? 2.5 years? Is that it? Like,
Girl, are we really done 2.5 years? Y'all met twice, and all y'all's communication for the most part was over email. Like,
it's crazy. Really? Wow. So I wasn't going to reach out anymore. I wasn't going to say nothing to him. And then that night I get a phone call around 10 o'clock and I'm like, oh, and it's him. So I missed it. So I called him back and I said, hey. And he was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, yeah, how are you? What's going on? And he was like, oh, I'm good. How are you? And, he was like, I'm headed to work and, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. We're talking. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel good. And he's like, that's because you don't listen. I told you to get off the button. I'm thinking, I'm not your fucking kid, man. This is why we get in fight. You didn't tell me what to do. But anyway. So we're talking and then I'm telling him all about like the cold medicine I'm taking and my vitamins and blah, 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 blah. Just like he's my damn boyfriend. I'm just filling him in. I'm like, yeah. And then tomorrow I'm going to go. And he's like, okay, well, I'm here now. Let me give you a call right back. And sometimes he says that it means it and sometimes he doesn't. So I was like, okay. And then I said, I'm confused. I didn't think he liked me when he was yelling at me on the rooftop. And I haven't heard from him in like, this is like 3 days now because we started Friday. So I hadn't heard from him Saturday, Sunday. This is Monday. This is 3 days now. And he calls me and what is he? I'm confused. So I sent him a text. I said, hey, if you want to stay in contact and keep talking, I'm definitely open to it. I didn't think you would be, but I don't know, if you want to stay friends or I don't know. But it was nice hearing from you. It was nice seeing you. And I send him that text and I don't even get like my hand off the send button before he responds. And he says, I thought we closed this chapter on Friday. I thought that I don't have time for you or anyone else. And so, yeah, I think it's better that we ended on a good note. Don't you agree? It's nice we got to see each other face to face. I could barely see anything else he was writing because I was just seeing red and fire was.
Jesus, my finances. like, like, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. My God, Stephanie. You know what? You know what? Whoever said the CIA could not torture this out of me if I were to ever wake up in a reality where I did some foolishness like this, please know I would have amnesia. And you could not convince me that I don't have amnesia. I would not remember any of it. I would not remember. This didn't happen. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. A man playing in your face like that is insane work. I do not care how ugly you think you are, how low self esteem you think you are. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I don't even have words. I thought we closed this chapter on Fridays. I thought we closed this chapter on Friday. It's absolutely insane. I hope she's making this up. I hope that Steph is making this all up to go viral because I mean I guess embarrassing yourself like this on the internet to go viral is out also insane, true or not. So it's like
Starting to come up because what do you mean? You could have just responded to one of the emails. I said, you didn't need to call me and then get off the phone. What is going on? So I text him and say, why did you call me?
oh, he did call you. Period, girl. Period. He got your hopes up. I mean, I'm still not on your side, but at least you're right here. He called you. You did say he called you and then you called him back.
And he says, I didn't call you. And I was like, I can't take this. So I blocked him while he was typing. I said, I can't take this. And later what I would learn is that it was a butt dial, but I was so embarrassed.
Wait, how you learn that later? So you blocked him and then unblocked him. Wait, how you learn it was a butt dial, girl? You blocked him and then unblocked him. How would you have learned it was a butt dial? I keep going. I just thought it couldn't get worse. Steph said, I'm going to beat Risa Tisa out of this. She said, I'm going to compete with Risa Tisa and y'all not about to stop nothing. Steph said, I'm going to be bigger than Risa Tisa by hook or by crook or by New York train. She's really fighting for that number one spot.
I was so embarrassed because not only did I take my black ass up there, yes, I went, I saw Chicago, I did whatever, but the man got there on a patio that I paid for at the hotel I reserved, told me, and no other women are special. Wait, except for the one woman who's mother of my child. She's the only special one, which that's how it should be. Go be a family with her. Be in a relationship with her, please. Whatever you're doing out here in the streets is terrible. And now we came back home. I'm suffering with the cold because he has these monster cooties or whatever the hell he got. And he gonna call me and I'm gonna text him and say, if you want to say, I don't want to stay friends with you.
Oh yeah, because he gave you a sickness. He was sick. He gave you the cold. So period. I can't believe you hear this man sniffling, coughing, and you still went and kissed her. Ain't no way.
I don't have no time for you. We're done. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Went to bed pissed. Well, lucky for me, I did go to bed and I went to bed kind of early and I was feeling a little sick and, I wasn't really awake to the world because something else had happened a few days before I left to go on a trip. And that was I found evidence online through a simple Google search and by simple Google search, I mean, I was able to see receipts of what people were searching for with relation to me. And somebody had been looking at my address on a website that made it really easy to find me. Now, over on my Patreon, I tell story times.
Girl, I thought he found out this man was a criminal in prison. I mean, this is not good. Hope she's safe, but I thought this was about the story
of my life at a much more frequent, at a higher frequency. I try not to even tell story times here, but I do occasionally, like this one. And over on Patreon, I do a lot. And I had recently told a story about something going on in my neighborhood. And I have told a story before, and people have been, like I mentioned in my Cheyenne Bryant video, people have been curious, like, oh, well, I want to look that up. Where did she work? Let me check out her LinkedIn. What did she take pictures of? Let me see if I can find her photography accounts. I mentioned my neighborhood. Somebody wanted to find out where I lived. Now, the website didn't give specific information, but it was close enough. And I saw that and I was like, whoa. So I messaged them. I said, get me down off this thing. And I suggest all of you do that too, because we could be out here worrying about being doxxed, but you have websites that are freely doing it for you, honestly. Well, that night I went to bed and like I said, I was dead to the world. I had taken.
Girl, I would interview her, but let me show you something. Stefco, the comments are paused. When I first clicked the video, I saw that the comments were paused. So either Stefco knows something about these YouTube algorithm, Oh, she just lost her mind. Because, like, why would you tell the story and then limit the comments to stop the engagement that would boost the video? Like, you want people to watch your video. Obviously, you posted it, and then you limit the comments. So, like, why are you not working with the algorithm, girl? So, I don't think she would be willing to, like, talk to anyone, at least not publicly, right? I don't think she would be willing to talk to anyone.
Cold medicine. I had taken some ashwagandha tablets. I had some mimosa. I was out.
Wait, actually, there's in the comments for dragging her child. I can see that. Let me see. Wait. Steffi hates you. This is torture. Let me just say that I just want you to win, whatever winning means to me. Anyway, child, a story time indeed. May this chapter be truly closed, and may the chapters ahead bring you love and peace. Oh, they're positive. Oh, Stephanie, I wish you could see yourself the way I see you. You're beautiful, insightful, and so funny. He is back, but don't entertain him this time. Block him for good. Steph, that man don't like to see. That man likes to see you hurt. I think she is filtering her comments. See, this is why she made a complaint the other day about like she was jealous of Risa Tisa, and when she saw Risa Tisa on the red carpet, she howled. She howled, girl, because she could not believe she was so jealous and envious of Risa Tisa. And you want to know why Risa Tisa did well? Because Risa Tisa actually learned from her behavior, but beyond that, she did not limit her comments. And she allowed her videos to be shared and reacted to. And then she engaged with people who engaged with it. And she climbed her way through um, platforms and build something meaningful. You limiting your comments is insane. Because I don't know why, like, why would you make this video and then limit it? Like, why would I mean, I don't want to comment. Let's be very clear. It just doesn't make sense to make this video and then waste the potential by not having the engagement.
And I woke up the next day and I went to take my dogs out and I looked to my left.
Her audience do enable her, and that's why they will always get dragged. That jealous community go always get dragged. Here's why. It ain't gonna stick. I'm not allowing that to stick over here. Because in the name of having a quote unquote safe space, and I do actually believe that she does need a safe space. Thankfully, she doesn't watch my content. I think in the name of creating a safe space, there's no level of accountability. And because she calls herself a bird, which I don't agree with, like, don't call yourself a bird, she does not take stock of what she's doing. Every time she tells this New York story, twice now, she comes out healed and better, and she's learned and she's moved on. And she gonna tell the story in a year. She gonna come back and tell the same story because that man gonna pop up back to see if she's still in it. If she's still there, and she gonna still be there.
Somebody had broken into my garage, manually forced it open, and broken into my car. Now they didn't take anything because I don't keep valuable things in my car, but it was a horrific reckoning when it comes to being online. A lot of times people talk about being online and they're like, the reason why you're not successful is because you won't put yourself out there. You gotta put yourself out there. There's nothing to be scared of. What are people gonna say? That they don't watch your videos? Who cares? You know, ain't nobody worried about you. People, there is such a dark side to being on the internet. And I'm gonna keep saying it until I can't say it anymore. People being obsessed with you, people's hate having hands, people trying to get you, like, trying to take away your job, take away your livelihood. I had several of my videos reported back in April. I didn't talk about this, but several of my videos reported back in April, and YouTube just let them be reported. I had to go in and manually submit, a somebody take a look at this, a human being, please take a look at this. And the reports were lifted, and I was able to earn income on the videos. But that's the same as like somebody trying, in my mind, somebody trying to call and like have you lose your job. I understand those things. Those things will happen. People report videos, whatever. But someone actually coming to your house and trying to break in, based on what?
Okay, so I don't understand this. Why would anyone want to report Steph's video? Y'all are weirdos. Not you all here. But I think you're to report her video specifically when all she does is like self-deprecating things is insane. Like she actually doesn't, even her review of other people's content, and like it's always about herself. I don't understand why people would report her channel. That seems insane to me. I'm sorry that is happening to you, but this is insane work.
A story time that you
It's probably some black woman, like, absolutely not. It's probably some black, it's probably about like a lot of black women actually like, absolutely not. Get this off the internet immediately. Quick pass it internet.
told about no one that anyone knows. And it was a good story. Like I was being nice and kind and excited about the person in the story. I will never stop talking about the darker side of being a creator. Because while I was asleep, knocked out, upset, someone had come to my house.
Wait, she's the one doing the reporting. She probably said as much on. Wait, Steph trying to report people's video, girl. This stuff is live of it. Yeah, I don't see how anyone would be reporting her video, but people are weird on the internet, so I'm gonna believe her.
House to try and harm me. And so that night, after talking to the police, after getting cameras and an alarm system set up, which I didn't have, after trying to get my life in order, I emailed him. That's right. I was still thinking about New York. And I said, hey, this has been a rough couple days. I've been sick, like I told you. I'm sorry.
Wait, why would you email him? So someone trying to break in your house and you email your dad, email your mom, call your mom, funny enough how I said email mom and dad as if you can't call them because they've been emailing so much. They've been emailing so much. Call your mom, call your dad, call your friends. Oh, actually, don't call your friends because you said your friends are nothing but people who are there for a specific time. So you don't even care nothing about none of your friends. So actually, call your family.
Sorry, I acted the way I did last night, but it was a lot. I felt like you were being unnecessarily cruel to me. Monday was a hard day. Today I got my house broken. Like it's just been tough. I wish you the best and no hard feelings. And chapter closed. That was about 3 weeks ago. To this day, he has never responded. And
why are you saying chapter close if you're expecting him to call you back? Like that's so weird. Like you keep reaching out to say, I am done, I am done, I am done, and then you are mad when it's like done. He been told you it's done. You followed up by saying, okay, we're done, chapter close. He's not reached out. Like why you want him to reach out? Like right. Like you emailed him to tell him you had a bad day thinking he gonna feel like you cannot get him the traditional way, so you're gonna try to get pull on sympathy. That man ain't got no sympathy for you. None. That man allowed you to waste your money and time to come to New York so he can play in your face. Mind you, the chapter not done. If that man called right now, she gonna pick up. If that man called right now, she gonna pick up. At this point, you can't ask for Jesus to be a chapter. At this point, say Jesus be a bookmark so she can know where she is in her book. Because ain't no chapter closed, ain't no new chapter, ain't no new book, ain't no new library, girl. She gonna be there reading the same chapter repeatedly. She's 42 now. She got a lot of life left to live. She gonna read that same chapter over and over and over again.
I hope he doesn't, honestly, because I want to talk about a couple things now that chapter is closed and now that we're done. The first thing I want to talk about is how I felt the very first week. And I was so hurt and I was so sad because, like I said many times, I don't have, male friends. I don't have anybody that like is really looking out for me as far as like, you put yourself out there in the world.
Mind you, she said a friend is nothing but a person who is there for a specific time. So you don't even value friendship. I don't want to hear you sitting up here talking about I don't have male friends. You shouldn't have them. You should not. If you sit up online and define a friend as nothing but, first of all, the fact that you say nothing but is already a chop. It is already a trap. All the people, the degenerate people who are like, yeah, well, that's so friend. You are not a good person. For everyone who defines friendship in this way, you are not a good person. So when you sit up here and say a friend is nothing but a person who is there for a specific time in your life, you are not a good person. So don't sit up here like, oh my God, I don't have any friends. Well, you shouldn't have friends. It is a lot. It is a lot. Fine. It is a lot. It is a lot. I despise the way she defined friendship, and I will never let it go. I will never let how she defined friendship go. It will never be let go. It was out of pocket. Talking about a friend is nothing but. Please. And now
And what
you're
was great
trying to ask for
about him
friends
was he was this because he kept coming back.
because you assaulted your friend and you wanted people to not care that you tried to assault your friend, sat up here talking about a friend is nothing but someone who is there for a specific time.
In my mind, it was this love story that I only needed to maybe bend a little bit to be able to live. Like if we could see each other face to face, well, my whole life might just change. Now, this is before I really understood the dynamic that he has with the woman that he lives with. I had never really understood it before, but now I get it. That's his whole family. That man is in a family.
You understood it. There was nothing to understand previously. You knew exactly what you were getting into. Unless you said you and him spoke about that relationship, you had no additional information that you would need to come to a different conclusion than you already had. You've been known the relationship. You've been known that. Pretending like you did not know his relationship status is absolutely diabolical. When you closed your first video telling us that you know he is with another woman. The Stefco fans are kind of delusional and they're liars. They're delusional and they're liars because they knew, Stefco knew that man was in a relationship. We all knew that man was in a relationship. Now, if you say, I don't care nothing about that, I'm just doing me, I can't argue with you for that. I can talk about morality, but your morality and my morality are not the same. I don't believe you have the responsibility of keeping a man faithful to his relationship, right? So I don't care nothing about none of that. But don't sit up here and lie, pretending like you did not know while you were sleeping with that man that man was in a relationship. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Family unit. He ain't going nowhere. So what the fuck? What am I thinking about? Um, the next week, it was just so angry at him and so disappointed. And then the next week afterwards was
Wait, I can't verify this. In the Patriot version, she said he told her not to try to see him in New York. He didn't want to see her at all. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is true. But if this is true, that's insane. Yeah, people are like, oh, it's mean. You can't say you don't talk down about your friends and describe friendship in this really transactional and disgusting way, and then sit up there and say, oh, I don't have friends. Well, duh. You don't deserve friends if that's how you see friendship. And I stand on that. That I won't apologize for.
just a real remorse that that's how that story ended, that that's who he was, that it was over, that that's how, that I was right about him the entire time. I cannot imagine what would have happened if I had gone up to see him when I was way more attached to him and to, the summer of 24. Oh my God. Whew, this fall of 24, the fall of 25. Because anytime I went up there, he was always going to just hit it and quit it. He was always, that was it. That's all he ever wanted to do. He did all that work. He did it all for the nookie. Come on.
He did not do any work at all. He actually put in very little effort, if any. And he told you he could never love you and only what he wanted to do to you. You said this in the first video. I don't understand why you are thinking this is like a new, like, why are you pretending like this is a revelation now when the first video that I defended you on, you actually said it. You're like, yeah, he only want this. And so I had to cut it off because he said he could never love me. Why are you pretending this is a new revelation? Like everything she's been through in the first video, she's coming back again and re-realizing the same thing. Like, how are you realizing the same thing you already did? Girl, I have so much videos to cut. I have like an hour of video to edit for y'all.
The nookie. Come on. That's all he did it for. And if I had gone up there earlier when I was more attached, he would have destroyed me. And while I haven't been the best, I also haven't been what I could have been. Like I mean, oh my God. There was a really sad moment that happened because
You are not the worst. I outside of the way you treat people, well, I guess that's makes it you. I said this in the video that's coming out. You are not a good person because deep down you believe yourself to be. You're a good person based on your action. So I'm gonna refrain from saying you're a good person and just move on. But I don't think you're a horrible person. I do not. Treat your friends better and maybe you'll have some.
of our connection, and it made me think about the fact that I probably won't be able to date until I get into maybe my 50s. I don't know, because I'll always be grieving the fact that I can't have a baby. He made, and I've told him before about my fertility issues. I told him,
So why are you making these sweeping generalization about what's going to happen and sorry, not generalization. These broad declarations like I won't be dating until I'm 50. Girl, no, you go and date as soon as another man come and show interest. Let's not play these games, Steph.
he made a one-off comment about maybe we could have a little one or something like that, and I was so insulted. In the moment, I was still disassociating, so I was like, I don't think we'd be very good co-parents. But I have told this man about my issues and like what I deal with, and I was like, I really wish you'd hurry up and like come see me so we can move on, and I can, back in the day, that's what I used to say. Then I used to say, you have to be careful. I don't know. I would tell him about my specific body and what was going on, and he did say once that he doesn't believe in any of that. He doesn't believe in like medical, one of those people that doesn't believe in science really. But
I would say this, Steph. You were probably too good for him, and oh my God. Not only that, it's like maybe this is protection. You might not see it as protection right now, but maybe this is protection. What do you mean you don't believe in science? Girl, what do you mean, is that why he came to you with his mucus and gave it to you? Is that why he sick came to kiss you and gave you whatever he had? Because ain't nobody got time, Steph. This is protection.
he he flippantly saying that to me, knowing that I can't do that. And I thought, well, you're gonna
Mind you, this is exactly where my mind went when she said, "Oh, he don't believe in protection. Oh, and we should try to have a child." I was like, "Oh, got it." So you're really up there playing with your life.
get that from any man under the age of like 50. They're gonna be like, and I think in general, women are asked all the time, would you like to have? I don't know if I can ever date or let a man talk to me again because I'll always be grieving it. So that's something that I realized. Another thing I realized is that it's very dangerous for someone like me to ever deal with someone like him. Um, when I was with him in the room and we were lounging and doing our thing, and I was laying there with him and we were talking and laughing, and I was running my fingers, through his hair and whatever. And we were just laying there with each other. I thought to myself afterwards, and thinking about it, how many more times has he known this moment compared to me? I was thinking about the fact that like he has known so many moments like this, probably with so many women, including the one he currently stays with. And again, I didn't understand fully their dynamic until I got there and he said what he said about finances. I was like, okay, I get it. I always thought something was, I was like, what is it? Oh, okay. She's the one you'll do 3 jobs for. She's the one oh, okay. Boy, you've been lying the whole thing. You ain't never been no single. You married to that damn girl. That's okay. And it's funny because I asked him initially whenever I first met him, I said, well, what happened with y'all? And he was like, well, she was bipolar. She, all her fault. Right. But when I was talking to him on the roof, And I'm gonna get back to my other point when I said it was dangerous for me to be around someone like him. But I'm gonna say this.
You knew they lived together. At the end of your first video, you said they were still together, and you know they were still together. Girl, please.
When I was talking on the roof, he was like, I've known her for 12 years. And that made me feel like shit. Like he was saying something like, yeah, I'll do things for her. I've known her. We've been through it. Well, of course you have. You have a kid together. You didn't even give me a chance to know you. And I will not ever show our texts. I think I showed once on Patreon a text that I wrote him when I initially blocked him when I first met him. I was like, we don't want the same things. Get away from me. But you could tell from the very beginning he was coming in to me for some bullshit. I didn't get a chance to really build anything with you. You always came at me with, you always undersold. You always let me know, whatever. I don't want to hear about, and so I do things for her because I don't give a damn. I don't.
She does realize if he did in fact want to build, she would be doing most of all of the building. Like, I don't understand why you would, even after you've separated from the relationship, looking back at it, you hopefully can see how incompatible you guys were. So even if he did say, okay, let's be together, how difficult that would have been for you. Also, he was always going to cheat on you. I don't understand how you even detached and letting go of it, like you are still so caught up and wanting the validation of being chosen by a man that definitely was not about to provide anything for you and was definitely going to cheat on you. I don't know, man.
Want to hear about that anyway. It made me sad because I didn't get a chance in my life to build that kind of a relationship with somebody where we've known each other for years and we can look back and be like, wow, we really did it. You've been my road dog. You've been my friend. We've been through it. I've never met anyone where we can have that connection, any man, romantically, where we can have, that connection. So him kind of rubbing that in my face, I wanted to tip his chair off the rooftop and have him crash to the ground. I didn't like that. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, the moments that mean a lot to me, he's probably had them so many times with so many other people. And it reminded me of one thing I wanted to say in my initial response way back in the day to Cheyenne Bryant. She was saying in the interview she did with Cam Newton, she was like, so you're low vibrational. I'm high vibrational. You women are low vibrational. We're high. And I was like, oh, I can kind of understand, but this is not something a therapist would say. And it inspired me to think about something, which is how you even get Cam Newtons and Nick Cannons in the first place, how you get these men, Stephon Diggs, who are like these apex predators in certain groups of specific type of women. And I thought about the fact that in society, when it comes to people who are partnered, people who aren't partnered, people who stay partnered, whatever, it seems like there's a high demand, a high need for certain types of people, and then a very low need for other types of people. And
these men are trash. Steph, because you are not, and I'm not speaking to her as if she's ugly, because I actually do not believe she's ugly at all. I don't know where she get this from. It is okay to not be the one flown around the world. It is okay to just be in a normal, loving relationship. Actually, the fact that you are not with Cam Newton and them people is probably a blessing. The fact that they don't want you is probably a good thing. Like, if you could look at your life, instead of seeing all the issues because you're comparing upwards, maybe to be fair, don't compare at all. But if you're going to compare and you want self-esteem, do it downward. Because there is no reason for you to be sitting up online talking about how these people are apex predators and wanting that kind of... Calling them apex predator is correct. And you want to stay away from these predatory men. Like, I don't understand. Like, wait, I don't know. Like, I get wanting desirability. Like, and I can understand, like, a woman, for example, thinking, oh, it would be nice to get into a club for free, to be invited on a yacht and get free this and free that. But there is also a separate part of that. Let me tell you this. A lot of my friends in uni were beautiful women, models, and they were some of the most low self-esteem having people I've ever met in the world. And it's not because they didn't think they were attractive. It is because they were being... It is because of the way people treat them because of their attractiveness. Now, I'm not saying boo-hoo cry for them. I'm not saying any of that. I am saying that sometimes the grass looks greener, or whatever people say, but you have a good life. Like, you have a nice way of speaking, you have a platform, you were able to build an audience, you can leverage that into building a book. And I get that for a lot of people, success alone does not give you the kind of comfort you want at night. But I do promise you this. I have seen many women who look like you have good relationships. Good from the outside, because I don't know what's going on in their homes. And so, like, the fact that you are beating yourself up and you're telling people in the world that you just take whatever man comes your way, whoever show up, you just take. That is insane. You do get to dictate the terms of engagement with people, especially men that you're introducing to your life. And if you let go of those core principles of who you are and what you want and the standards men have to meet to be in your life, then all the men you meet who come in and approach you are gonna look trash. Because I was walking down the street with Vanessa, and a homeless man, a man experiencing homelessness, he's not devalued because he doesn't have a home, but he came up and he was like, can you buy me some food and take me out? And she was like, girl, if you don't get out of my face, right? If you allow every single man who comes to you to take you out and be in a relationship, you're gonna be at the bottom of the barrel every single time because these men have audacity. They don't. It don't matter how. It don't matter how low you think. It take you out. Yeah, it does not matter how low you think they are on the totem pole. They will try. And if you give them a chance, they're going to have a chance. It does not make sense for you to be this person who have, I don't think you will believe me, but who have so much to offer the world to be this desperate. That don't make sense. That does not, that desperate energy gonna have you in a chokehold. Fine. We saw Kathy getting kicked and beaten on camera. We read her complaints about what Diddy did to her. And I'm not saying this is the truth for all these women, but I'm saying that maybe don't always compare yourself to these women and don't just want what they have. Create the life that you want. Like, I just don't. For someone who is not like deformed or ugly, to just not have any kind of esteem or care about their engagement in it just doesn't make sense. Like Stefka don't make sense to me. Let's be very clear. Stefka does not make sense to me. And that desperation is one of the most repulsive. It is one of the most repulsive attitude you can ever have. I know this. I know this for a fact. If you're desperate, people sense it. Stefka is desperate, and everyone can sense it. There are some men who will use you, and then good people will be repulsed by you. I just, the thing is, she doesn't even have friends because no, she said she don't like them people. She said friendships aren't serious things for her. They're just random people who are about for this amount of time. So like, she don't care nothing about a friendship. So maybe that's why it's difficult for her to really interrogate who she is, what she wants, and where she needs to go. Agreed. And for her to be willing to do all of this for what's his right. I am worried that this is not a Stefco specific story. And while I want it to be a Stefco specific story, there's a part of me that's hoping it is, but there's also a part of me that feels like it's not. Because when I look in them comments and people are like connecting with the story, it's a problem. It's a problem.
It's usually about supply and demand. What you supply, is there a demand for it? And I think for a woman like me, where there's not really a demand for me, especially now that I'm older, I can't give birth. I have the red pill men.
Mind you, okay. Let's deal with the ageism thing in the most toxic of ways. And I apologize for doing this, but I'm going to do it. She keeps saying she's 39, 40, 41, 42. This woman look every bit of 33. And I'm not saying, obviously you have to be honest about your age and all of that. It's just weird to be like, oh, I'm just too old now. It's like, girl, yeah, no, no, no. 30, 40 is not old. I Let me be very clear. 40 is not old. I'm saying she looks younger than her age. So like if she didn't tell me she was like 42, I would not have guessed she was 42. I do rebuke her energy too.
Did eat that one little thing where they said older women sometimes have baggage and trauma that you'll have to deal with.
Mind you, okay, here's another woo woo thing. I do believe that the way you show up in the world matters. And people sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of the time, they will treat you accordingly. So if you walk out in the world as if you're apologizing for taking up space, people are going to expect you to apologize for taking up space. Right? As opposed to walking out like, girl, I own this. I am that girl. It is what it is. Like, we're not doing this. There's a different energy that you walk out in the world with. And it's just like very different. Like, it's just, ugh. I feel like Stefka would make me cry. If we were friends, I feel like I would be crying every night, worried about her. Like I just feel like I'd be crying. I wouldn't want to go out with her. I would just want her to stay in. And like I would spend all my days cooking for her, taking her out on dates, and trying to make sure she knows like it would just stress me out. And I wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah, especially if you come with the bullshit. Like I'm gonna tell you, I see what you're doing. I'm not here for a lot of stuff. Like I can't, I think they didn't know really what they were saying because I see it as I'm not gonna let you get away with certain things without putting up a fight. They probably see it as, oh god, she's complaining, whatever. I don't know. But my thing is that makes me less of a demand. And I can't speak for every woman in their 40s because every woman in their 40s is not dealing with the same past experiences as me. But I just know even when I was younger, I never felt like I was very much in demand. I felt like there was a very low need for someone like me. And so therefore I had very few experiences, not a lot of romantic, whatever, not a lot of loving experiences, like nobody, but he once said to me, I've had a lot of women that have loved me. I've had a lot of, for whatever reason. And, I think it's that charm, that magnet, like he does have that. He's a very high demand person. There's a high need for him. And so I thought about the fact that, when you get a high need person, you get somebody that, people want, and a low need person. There's an opportunity for a lot of manipulation, a lot of emotional imbalance. It's not fair. And that was us through and through. And I'll have to keep.
No, it's not a low demand. It's a low self esteem. You can be low demand all you want and still have enough self esteem and self respect. Self respect to walk away. She mentioned grieving not being a mother, but her kid will have her features. Imagine this mindset, parent. Imagine her having a child who looks like her. That poor child. That poor child. So there is a truth in the way she shows up, right? I think Black women in particular have a lot of hurdle. Black men, we've not, in a patriarchy, the men generally set the standard of beauty, right? And because of our conqueredness, our conquered state of being, we didn't develop the beauty system. And so Black women have to constantly push back against the narrative around their own beauty. So I do get that for a lot of Black women, they don't have it in them to show up in the world and occupy space in a way that says, I know who I am and I am beautiful. I don't care nothing about what you got to say. I know that's difficult. But those are the black women who are my friends, right? I don't have any black women friends who are like Stefco, who are defeated by the system. And I do recognize that a lot of people cannot push back against a society that tells them you are not attractive. Like, I get it. And so I do want to have space enough for her to exist in her own fears, her own assessment of herself. I do hope that's there. But even if true, because you believe yourself to not be the beauty ideal, does not then mean you don't have self respect. I do not think you lose your self respect because people tell you you're not attractive. And I think the only possible explanation here is I need a man. And because I need a man, I cannot be by myself. Therefore, I am going to have to metabolize and take in fully how people perceive me and how to negotiate my own self worth in relation to men. And that's insane to me. Like, if you are not willing to be single, yes, you're going to be trading a lot of things, including your self respect. Yeah, yeah. If you cannot be single, you will be out here. Even if you're beautiful, if you cannot, if singleness is something that is toxic to you, you're gonna be trading your self-respect at some point. It is what it is. There ain't no reason for you to do that. And she pissing me off because I don't understand why she accepts people's view of her as ugly. Can you play entirely too much DJ? Thank you, Bianca, and I agree.
Keep that in mind as I go forward. Our relationship it couldn't be anything because, but it also couldn't be anything because I wanted to feel like I was needed and like I was wanted, and he would never feel that way because the world is his damn oyster, and that's probably only going to increase in his life as long as he stays.
There was this girl in high school. We didn't keep in contact, but we were friends. And someone asked her because she always walked in class with her head up or whatever. And someone asked her, "Girl, why you think?" No, it wasn't a question. It was like I don't remember the exact phrase, but it was something to the effect of, "I think you believe you're cuter than you are." That's what the guy said to this person because of just how she like just walked in like she owned the place. And she just walked in and she was like, I am. And like obviously someone saying something like that is going to affect you negatively. But it just for me highlighted like she just takes up space and she didn't care. And I wish more people would do that. And she was really popular too. They talk poorly behind her back, but that didn't stop her. She was class president. She was a prefect. She was student council. She got she was that girl. There were a lot of girls who did not like her, and guys who did not think that these are young kids who did not think that she should be as confident as she is. She probably in Jamaica running some things. She probably running some things in Jamaica now.
With his equipment ready and willing to go, okay? Because these men out here are struggling, being able to perform. Yeah. So long story short, I did go, and now I'm going to answer the $1,000,000 question. Why would I tell you when I know that y'all are going to get in these comments and act ass? No, I'm kidding. But there's going to be a lot of unsolicited advice. There's going to be a lot of this. There's going to be a lot of that. Why would I tell you? Why would I tell you this? This is not a good story. Well, the first reason is that I've already invited you into the mess, and I posted a little get ready with me because that was part of my trip too. I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get content and I'm gonna do a vlog for Patreon and I'm gonna do this." And I did a vlog for Patreon and not for YouTube.
Yeah, Steph, girl, please get off my screen. So you got all the girl, Steph. Maybe Steph just out here trying to get compliments. I ain't gonna give it. I'm not gonna give any. I'm not giving it. Steph just want compliments. That's where I'm going with it. I'm just going. I'm just gonna say Steph just looking for compliments out here. Steph really just, I believe Steph just out here looking for compliments. Absolute truth spoken. Thank you. Ashley.
As I use a lot of the music from the musicals that I went to go see, and I went to, museums, and I use content, and I'm gonna do a vlog for Patreon, and I'm do this, and I did a vlog for Patreon and not for YouTube because I use a lot of the music from the musical.
So you tell me Steph walked out the street eating the girls up. She walked out of the street eating the girls up, talking about nobody like her. She's not sure. Please.
That I went to go see, and I went to, museums, and I use, YouTube
I know these men. You playing. You playing.
with the copyrights. You can't get past that. But I was like, I will do, some TikTok content. And so I actually like plan like my outfits or my outfit. I was like, I did a makeup tutorial that I never posted because I accidentally put a bunch of red color corrector all over my face. I looked a mess. So I never posted it. But I was like, I'm gonna make this a content trip too. It's not just gonna be whatever, because I don't get invited to things and I don't get to do somebody. I posted my little get ready with me for New York, and people were asking on TikTok. They were like, "Are you there for the Webby Awards? Are you there for what were you there?" I was like, "They're having an award ceremony. What's going on?" Because I don't get invited to shit. I don't be doing about stuff. But a lot of people were also asking me, "Did you go to see that man? Did you have?" And I thought, I can't have this attached every time I go to New York. Like, I don't even want him mentioned. I don't want, I did see him. I won't be seeing him again. We will never see each other again. We'll most likely never speak again. He got what he wanted and he gone. But
see, you realize that we will not see each other again. We will most likely never speak again. He got what he wanted and he is gone. Question: what happens if he comes back? You realize she does not have agency in the interaction with this man. Even in her own explanation, she removes her agency completely from the engagement, most likely meaning she's open to it. It's not like I'm gonna cut it off. He cannot come back. Girl, please. Apparently, she had amazing parents, especially a great dad. So she did talk about her parents helping her move. But I don't know, something feels broken there. Where is her community? Well, she said friends are nothing but, and after you say nothing but, ain't nothing coming good coming after nothing but. When you say friends are nothing but, ain't nothing good coming after that but yeah, no, she talks very kindly about her parents. And it sounds like she had a stable home where the parents did love her and provided safety. Not sure how this happened. I mean, she did go live in California. And I'm not sure exactly where in California, but there are parts of California that um the aesthetic is the most important thing, and you have to be a size 0. You have to be anorexic. It's a mess in some areas in California, but I don't know where it comes from.
I wanted to make sure that in the future when I go to New York, because I will go again. Well, that's if somebody doesn't break in my house and actually, do something where, I mean, I don't even want to talk about that. I just wanted to put that out there so that in the future, if something does happen to me, you guys know, like, I just want to put that out there. And anytime anybody tells me, "Oh, you're being so negative, contact it, eat my butt." Okay. Because people are out here doing terrible things. But, anyway, I hope to go back again. I hope to go back in the fall. I hope to have, and I don't want people to be like, "Oh, did you go see that man? Did you go see?" No. In fact, hell no. No. Don't ever ask me about him again. So yeah.
Why do you want to go back? I thought she said she randomly chose to go to New York because she doesn't go to New York, and that's how they met. And now you went back one more time. And so you're just planning to randomly go back. Now, New York is just the place you want to be. You just have a New York state of mind. You just gonna have a New York state of mind randomly. Please. You know what you're doing, Steph. Probably know where that man work and go book the hotel book a room at that man's hotel.
That's the first reason why I told you. I plan on going to New York more in the future, and I don't ever want anybody to ask me again, "Were you there to see that man? Did you see him?" No, I didn't. I did this past time, but that's it. No. The second reason why I said it is because, like I said before, I invited you into the mess. I gave you the beginning. Oh my God, what is this? It's a crazy time. What are we doing? I gave you the middle, what I thought was the end. We don't talk anymore. We blew it. It's not my fault. Enough to end. And men want to blame everything. Whatever. And I said, well, let me give them the real end. This is really how it ended. I went up there. I got to see Chicago with some of my favorite reality TV white people, and I ate some good food, and I went into some museums, and I wore a cute little outfit around. And then a very taken, lying man who was very cheap put me through the mattress, and I disassociated the entire time until I got home, and everything hit me all at once. His germs, the reality of our connection, and then it all swiftly ended with one phone call, with one unexpected phone call. And that is the real end of this. That's how that chapter really closed. I mentioned earlier that this relationship represents the end of Truman Show relationships for me. Or maybe I mentioned it, I'm not sure, but I'll say it now. And by that I mean being involved with people that could be possibly used for content, but they don't know what I do for a living, so they don't know that. Um, I already really, really walk a line with people that I know in real life, who know what I do.
All right. Well, at least you know. Let's go into the after show because she pissed me off. All I can say, Steph, is don't go to Atlanta. If New York man have you going through it, do not go to Atlanta. Just stay in Texas. Maybe go to Milwaukee. Maybe go to Canada. Just go a little K. Do not go to Atlanta. Because if you thought him having a wife is bad, wait till you find out he got a husband. um She from Houston, Texas. Oh no, I know where she's from. She said it. Not her trying to play it off like a solo date. Right. So I think she can go to like Maine, go to Vermont, New Hampshire, like go Montana, Wyoming, Iowa, Dakota, North Dakota, Kentucky. Idaho, West Virginia. She could go to West Virginia. I think you would eat down in work. I think I think you could eat down in West Virginia. I think look, I think you could eat down in Vermont, like Iowa, Idaho, West Virginia. Like girl, you're playing game. Eh, Probably don't go to Nevada though, but Colorado would be good. Just do not go to California. Don't go to California. Don't go to Florida. Do not go to Georgia. Definitely don't go to Atlanta if you go to Georgia. Yeah, Mississippi. I yeah, Alaska girl. Like you have to broaden your horizons. Yeah, you gotta broaden. She said she used to date some crackhead white man, and I was like, girl, ain't no reason. Ain't no reason for you to be dating a crackhead white man in Texas, girl. That didn't even make sense. What do you mean? What do you mean you dating? What do you mean? What do you mean you dating a crackhead white man who don't got a job? So, you know what? Well, Stefka, I wish you the best. Oh my god. Oh, DC is out of it. Not Maryland. Yeah, no, 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 no. DC and Maryland, girl, absolutely not. Mm-mm-mm. No, 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 no. Yo, she said she was jealous of her friend who they were on the same level because her friend had a better crackhead. And I was like, girl, wait, what do you mean? A cheating crackhead? You're jealous of your friend, and you think your friend is doing well because she's dating a better crackhead who's cheating on his wife or his girlfriend. Girl, mind you, she's jealous of another woman who is her friend who was getting cheated on. No, in her mind, she's a lover girl, and I love that for her. You know what? This cannot stay up. Let me ask my girl is if I should private this. But I won't be here Friday. Should I private this stream? Honestly, I keep saying I'm about to email my friends as if girl, same. I want to know the kitchen. I want to know the Patreon version too, because what y'all think in this chat is insane. Yeah, I probably should have put a Stefka don't watch warning. All right, the girlie said I need to private it. See, y'all could have told me to not go that much. All right, let me wait on Katrina. Let's see what Katrina said. Nah, she gave you permission. I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't know that I would, but I don't want to. She mentioned you before, Themish. No, she didn't. She had mentioned me before because all the defending of her that I've been doing, she only popped up when I said something negative. she, she only heard me say something negative. I'm a black man. What do you mean? All right. It's not about her feelings. What is it about? All right. I will leave it up until tomorrow. I'm going to private it tomorrow. Not private. I'm going to members only tomorrow. I am only doing that. I'm doing that because I can see I did a lot of laughing, but I also don't want to hurt her feelings. That man in New York already hurt her feelings, and I don't want to add to it. So I probably should. So I will leave it up till tomorrow so you guys can watch, but then I'm going to members only. Private ed. All right, let me do a poll. Let me do a poll. I'm gonna say put a poll in the chat. Please all what do you call that thing when you vote on the poll? And I'm gonna do whatever y'all decide right now. Funny enough, I was supposed to be dragging Amanda Seals and Dr. Mark Lamont Hill. That's what I was supposed to be doing. I'm not doing it, obviously, but I was supposed to be dragging them people. Because Mark Lamont Hill just came out here and they gave us absolutely nothing. And he's way too smart to be that dumb. Way too smart to be that dumb. Don't piss me off. Amanda Seals out here. Well, I expect Amanda Seals to be Amanda Seals. Ain't no surprise there. Pissing me off too. You're like, oh my God, I cannot believe Amanda Seals did that. Girl, have you been watching Amanda Seals? Amanda Seals has done nothing, absolutely nothing but be ridiculous. All right, go ahead and vote, and I'll stop it in a second. You have 2 minutes to vote. No, I would love to interview her. I don't think she would though, but I would. All right, you guys have 1 more minute. I can't do time, so you guys have 1 more minute, and then the polling will end. So at 10:51. All right, polling is done. You guys say 44% of you, I'll say to leave it open until tomorrow. So I'll put it at members only tomorrow. It'll be up today, and then tomorrow I'll make it members only. Thank you all so much. I have to go edit now. Please watch my video on Friday. It's a long one, but I hope you guys will enjoy. I will be in the chat with y'all though. It was pretty close. Some of y'all want to leave it open. All right. Have a good night. Bye, Stefco. We do not hate you over here. Let me know if you want to have a conversation. Bye.